Last session, session 18, was called Sucked Off in Soup because of mostly what happened in the last hour and a half. So, but it is the first day of the next month of Fall Feather, the 13th month of the 18th month calendar year. And the Blood Festival is about halfway through in the City of Salt, and the group is kind of anticipating Eros's what's the word? Performance down below. That's in everyone's back of the mind. Mel is spending some time doing some research on the sewers that you guys have been asked to infiltrate by her house's behalf. Setch kind of takes some time to learn about the undead plaguing the city. That ghouls are getting the ability to speak and actually exist after the fact. You kind of then take the rest of the day for yourselves, more or less, and you don't really have too many specifics that you do because you get lost in soup. I'll get to that in a minute. But Eros begins breakfast, and Birdman and Shallow Butter are there. Cotton Strike has the children as well. Strike's on the roof. Birdman summons magical ravens for the first time. Setch and Mel are each. Setch is asleep at his home, passed out from a night of research and just a long day from the previous day. Mel is at her local bar, the formerly named Man. While there, at your perspective places, there's an earthquake that happens, erupts from the north central part of the throat of the city. Sinkholes appear about 8 feet wide by 10 feet tall. And then there's a dozen or so that are interspersed about every few hundred feet, seemingly kind of following the sewers near the main groups of where these apartment structures you guys live are at. And as well as your local tavern you guys go to often, the Herald. Eros and Birdman kind of see these holes form in real time, and then a large crustacean-like creatures emerge. You guys run and leap from your apartment window and fight off these monsters. Citizens rise up as well throughout the city. Being successful, you guys reconvene and agree to make soup of the meat of these creatures. Eros asks for a blessing from Snoopius Doggius, a Sinis god of nature and enjoyment and of weed.
Is he a legitimate god in this?
He has been made a legitimate god now, so.
It's canon, yes.
Okay, Sinis are dog folk, like, and they are goofy, charismatic characters. So I was like, okay, it makes sense. Like, I kind of want to make him a pug or something. I don't know. He meets. You guys meet after this blessing. Birdman needs to meet with Jerry. He is fiending for some good ganja himself, and spends 15 gold worth for a lot of fun. And Birdman and Eros then decide to kind of lay low at Mel's house without telling the ranger of the ninth house that that's happening. Setch passes out home. Mel kind of follows him, ensures that he's safe, then returns to the bar to just kind of rest and reflect. Meanwhile, Eros is taken below to the Dark Mantle or the Underdark. Both of those terms are used interchangeably in this world.
Strike was took one hit and was sleeping the entire time.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, we made in the video. There were many mentions to your snoring.
One fat ass hit off the bird bong.
Yeah.
Down for the count.
Good China.
Yeah.
Eros down below kind of learns the routine that Roxana has been figuring out with care halls to awaken this weird turtle man artifact that's down there. Eventually, after all that, later on in the day, afternoon, you guys meet up at Mel's house. and invite Pio to bring some food. He brings a party. When Mel returns, this angers, and there's a little bit of PvP that erupts over the lack of care of her privacy and personal space. And we more or less wrap up with Mel sucking the blood out of, Birdman. But she does not kill him, and then you all kind of leave her apartment.
Sucks so good you almost died.
Yeah, we just go back home.
That's true.
And you guys, what do you do? It is like 8 p.m. What do you guys do for the next 2 hours?
Oh, I was thinking we just go back home.
Yeah, go back home and cast some more tokens for the attorney at crime. And also start work on that oversized longbow.
I'm gonna go home and sulk.
Eros is gonna continue smoking for the rest of the night, though.
Birdman's fun has been ruined. So I'm gonna go home and actually try to do some more work on how to get the axe done. Like how to get it out without stealing it.
Alright.
But Birdman is quiet the whole way home. He just kind of walks home, no urgency. He kind of just gets home and doesn't say a word to anybody. Just goes into his room and closes the door.
Eros is singing a rendition of "Don't Worry, Be Happy" the whole way home.
It's not helping.
Okay. Cotton's going for a run. Satch is probably still asleep.
He would have been awake. He probably would have done some more digging about.
No, you were at the apartment. I remember. Okay.
You were with us.
Yeah, you darkness and whatnot. So where would you go after that?
Probably he'd go and try and, if it's not too late, probably try and do a bit more digging about spontaneous undead and if there's anything related to the situation
The situation.
that you know
The
about.
situation.
Wink, wink. And if there's any commonality to it, or if it's just ghouls. Or if I kind of just dug, or how I kind of just like found all the information that I really could on the situation. Like, is there any like local libraries or like kind of like places like archive places that maybe he hasn't
Yeah,
done
the
to-
Sage's Row. There's the Temple of Reason. It is a sort of religious spot, but they do keep tomes from around the world. But as someone who's been in this city for any amount of time, the curators of said place, the priests, are very... What's the word? They only present what they think is worthy to present. So it may be hard to find certain things.
Yeah, gotcha.
Other than that, there's private libraries, but that's the only like public thing that most people know about.
Well, probably knowing that. Oops,
The only other place you know with your connections is the
little boy, I think, isn't it?
there's that, and then the other thing that came to my mind is the 11th house is they are wizards and they are neutral and they're not related to this whole situation. So that's just by aspect of what they are, they probably might have access to some sort of tome or something, spell books and shit. So, you also know from what you learned last week that the 5th house is being blamed for a lot of this, and they are a science-based place, so they would have their own personal thing as well. You can for these 2 hours of time, it depends on where you want to go. Are you just trying to just
If I'm
just gossip again and maybe like see if anything else pops up, or
if I'm able to, I'd probably disguise myself and then join, or try and get into one of the houses, or like talk to a representative of the house, if possible.
okay, which house?
The science one, the fifth house, I think you said it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I'll use the things as well. I'll use these spells to do it. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll try and make myself look like one of the fifth house members, just their like a basic armor, and then I don't know, make myself look like a random, I guess, elf woman.
Okay. Um, the fifth house, it's more like a badge or something that they wear. That is this um symbol of this like almost scalpel looking thing.
Mm.
Um, that you would just have to have on your person at some point. They're very minimal in that way.
I'll
And
approach have appear just like a brooch, something
okay.
on his arm.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Um,
Actually,
it's
what is?
very
Do I know the main race of that house?
it is one of the quote unquote like neutral houses. Like it doesn't have like a specific race that's like dominant in it. It is led by, nonetheless, though, it is led by a gnome. He's one of the oldest people in the city, named Anton. He supposedly was one of the people who helped bind the Tarask
Mhm.
somehow, some 250 years ago. His second in command is a human, but everyone kind of just, he's a drunk. They don't give him
Yeah.
much of mind. For those. So, but it's very just the house is just open to anyone that has the want and drive to approach from that kind of scientific
Yeah.
artificer kind of point of view. Um they are directly responsible for much of the alchemy that keeps the Tarask asleep. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just.
so this part of the city is very uniformed, and there's like the houses are stacked almost like Legos, sort of on top of each other. Lots of stairs and like weird magical elevators and pulley systems and different things that people have put together to get to their respective places. And then greenhouses and gardens and different things to grow different reagents, and then every house has this tower structure. This one looks like out of some steampunk weird dream that someone has, as different apparatuses have like almost grown on the stone structure that was here built originally here by the dwarves that kind of helped establish the city. Um do you want to talk to a leader? Someone in charge? Or just like find a random person?
Is there like, I guess, like an advisor or someone that's kind of there to guide people around the house, or not really?
No.
No. Yeah. I'd
The
like
fifth house is you are self-sufficient. Like you must.
Yeah.
They leave that stuff to the first house and the third house.
Yeah, I'll just try and find someone who I guess is a superior, or someone who like maybe knows a little bit more about it, while also trying not to draw any attention to myself or seem out of place at all.
Okay. Um Yeah, it takes you about 10 minutes or 10 15 minutes to walk over there. going through the structure. You find a human, bald-looking, presumably male. Yet there's no facial hair, and they're rather young, so it's kind of hard to tell. But they are wearing kind of tight leathers. Not really meant to protect them, mostly for just like it's just their clothing. And they have like big gloves on, that are ostentatious in a way. And this guy also has on his left shoulder some weird steampunk apparatus. You have no idea what it does, but it makes little purring noises and puffing noises every few seconds. And he is in the process of unloading something from a carriage sort of thing to his like side laboratory. It's like a small little setup that he has. It's like an alchemist kind of laboratory. He's not a shop by any means. But you know from the badges there is a ranking system, and his is one you haven't seen. So you assume he's of higher rank than what you know loosely. There's not much known about the fifth house. They're kind of quiet. Most of the time.
No,
So-
I'll approach him.
He's aware of you, but it's one of those things where he's just hoping you're just curious that he's loading boxes for some reason, and then we'll walk on by.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand there with my arms around my kind of holding my arms around my behind me and just waiting for him to notice me or to like talk to me. Just standing there.
Good 30 seconds go by, and he sighs, sets this glass box down on top of the others, and inside, and then turns back, and he's like, looks around. You new here?
Yes, a little bit. I'm actually doing some research on the recent undead of the city and them raising from graves. I was wondering if anybody else is doing any research or if there was any previous research done.
Need you to roll a persuasion or a deception.
Got yeah.
Because he's looking you up and down. When you say the undead and whatnot, you generally...
Might use an inspiration for that one. Yes, there we go.
Okay. He looks around, and you generally get the impression that this is not the first time a question like this has been asked recently. Maybe not today, but within this guy's recent memory. Because he looks at you and then comes over and then kind of looks you up and down and sees your little brooch and nods as he like looks at it for a while to really analyze its authenticity. And then he like kind of in a very almost host way, all of a sudden his demeanor changes and he's like, come inside. He like motions for you to come inside and he closes the door behind you.
Yeah, walk in. Also, my armor is it's not like an illusion or anything. It's like you can touch every bit of it and it feels real and stuff.
That's one of the things that I think helped convince her. So he did. Who are you working for, or is this your own independent research?
This is in some independent research. I decided to take the initiative on this and maybe even make a breakthrough myself.
Who is
a little tie to it as well.
Who is your master? Your badge, your brooch, your apprentice level 2.
Yeah, that is true. Out of character. Do I know any masters, or do I have to be a part of a master, or is it just kind of like?
You could be.
Information I don't know.
Roll a history check. I think there's a slight chance that if you may not know this.
Oh, fun.
Okay, that's above average. What you piece together is it makes sense that you would see apprentices running around, and you see there's 2 dots on this thing. You're like, okay, level 2. You've seen upwards of 3, but you've never seen his. So you think his is a master one. The only master of the house that a master is the master of the house, Anton.
Shit.
So if you wanted to roll a badass deception check, you could you could squeeze Anton out because Anton is known to have multiple
Yeah,
apprentices.
yeah, yeah.
It's not unheard of because he's just been around for forever that he has,
Yeah.
24 guys running around. So, but it is Anton. The only other name you know of is his. You don't know his boy. You don't know his second in command, which is also his boyfriend's name.
Mm.
But you know that is someone that's involved there. So,
Well,
so
the master of the house, Anton, said that I could be his apprentice if I make a breakthrough in something or I discover something of interest to him. And like I said, this interest also has personal ties a little bit as well, so this is why I'm kind of eager and keen to learn as much as I can and to progress.
Anton. He looks at you up and down. He's just like trying to remember if he's seen something like this. You can roll a deception check.
Shit.
Versus his. I'm gonna use this sheet for him.
Ooh. Okay, that's not bad.
All right, and I heard he was looking into getting 5 more apprentices for his recent engagement. I have not met them all yet. A half elf. Your ancestry is strange to see in this city. But nonetheless, I have heard rumors here and there that Anton's most promising former apprentice has engaged in some rather dark deals that may be part of the responsibility behind the undead that have grown more common in these last few weeks.
So you're saying he has a direct connection to the ghouls that have been popping up and down the city?
Yes. Anton is probably using you to make sure he smiles, like thinking, that he's like Anton's 3 steps ahead of him. Like, really doesn't.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's full of shit, or if he's trying to play a game himself?
Yeah. 100% no.
He's
This
not.
guy is not a social guy by any means. He
Yeah.
uses the 5th house as a mean to hide from the world to do his experiments or whatever he does. Mostly leaning towards steam tech is what you
Mhm.
get the impression from what you're seeing here. So, but
Well,
he is impressed by Anton's foresight, even though you probably it's not true.
well, I have a little bit of connection to this because one of my I had a friend that died a couple years ago, and then they kind of magically appeared out of nowhere. And I was wondering if there was any signs or if there was any connections to that at all. Maybe even Anton, possibly.
Um, he shakes his head a little bit, like he's trying to jar a memory or something, maybe. Or
She
just
was she was fully conscious. It was just like as if she was alive. There didn't seem to be any signs of undeath on her or anything. That was uh doing my tests on her.
There's a research paper that was circulated within the House a few years back about the mutative and additive processes the Tarask meat can have on flesh, with magic aiding in its conditioning and saturation. But I have not heard of direct life being awoken without the undeath process. Indirect connection, as you say. This paper theorized that it was possible. I don't think you know then of late that in the last few months there have been many reports of mutations arising throughout the city.
I have heard a little bit.
Troublesome then that it is more prevalent than I thought. I am trying to work on a. He kind of looks around. Process to stop these mutations if I am able. I am a capable healer in my own right if I have the right resources. So it is strange. Some children are being born with strength of a man. Some are being born with a weakness that disables their heart before the age of 6. And it is all connected to what this. And he looks around really nervously, because what he is, he's really nervous. The city, I think, is slowly killing us in a way. And I am. It will not be a quick process, and yeah, and he brings you over to like the equivalent of like a steampunk era like microscope kind of setup that he has going on, with like bubbling little apparatuses and everything kind of around you in like this back like kitchen area. And he has different small bottles of different colored fluids. A lot of them look like blood. And he takes some out and he kind of, dabs them on a little thing and like puts, and you put on this giant goggle set thing to like look at it, because it's not small by any means. And it's multiple glass like crystal things he like inserts so you can really see. And then you basically see the equivalent of like a blood's, a cell basically slowly destroying itself because of the additives that are in there. And he like points out this mutative quality that's happening within the body. That's
Sesh probably doesn't really care, but for me, is the blood cell actually killing itself, or is it most of the additive that's eating it away?
if the blood cell doesn't kill itself, then the additive changes it
Okay.
to be more like the creature that it comes from,
Got yeah.
kind of thing. Like if they don't die or get wound or get really sick from it, it mutates them to have qualities that are kind of like the Tarask in some ways.
And people are eating the Tarask, right? Like they're eating the meat and stuff. Yeah.
And they have been for generations. Like this is 250 years
Jesus Christ.
that people have been doing this. So it's like he's basically without having the words, I think, to say, he's trying to hint to like, DNA is mutating. Like it's been long enough that it's been in part of generations and generations that we may not be human anymore.
Like it's like being injected with a COVID vaccine. It's slowly mutating our bodies and changing us and killing us from the inside, and the microchips as well.
I get some inspiration from somewhere.
Rat.
Okay. Well,
But yeah,
he would. Um, This is a character that I had in the back of my mind that probably did exist at some point, but I have not named him.
No,
If
good.
you would like to name him, you can name him. Otherwise, I will come up with something eventually. But
What race is he?
he's human, as we can tell.
Lucius. I like the name Lucius.
That makes sense. In that many of the names from where the science comes from are very
Popular.
Italian and Greek influence.
But yeah. Well, if the apprenticeship with the master doesn't work out, could I possibly maybe work under your wing? Maybe we could work on this together.
I need another deception check, and then I need a persuasion check.
Ooh.
Well, Anton is more magically inclined than I am. So I'm sure he'll be able to see more of those truths. But I would say if he rejects you and you honestly pursue that, then yes, you may return here. And he the way he looks at you, you could he's not 100% trustworthy of you. Like he
Yeah.
is now thinking that something in the back of mind is now thinking like your dimension of magic. He forgot that those kind of things exist, and that this could be something that's
Yeah. Well, I think my better get going. But you have my word that none of this information will get out to any of the other people of this house. But thank you for sharing with me. It was I think this would go very far in my research. And I'll like bow to him, and then I'll slowly leave, I guess, as daintily as possible.
he just kind of watches you leaves, and then as you go through the threshold, he turns away and mumbles something under his breath. Was just confused by the tone you hear, and this is just the door closes behind you. You're approached by the late mid-evening air.
Yep, and then I'll duck into an alleyway, turn back into my original form Setch, and then I guess just go home. I'll go the long way home to get a nice stroll in, I guess.
Okay.
I immediately thought, duck into an alleyway. Are you gonna turn to Batman?
Maybe.
Setch is the closest person to Batman.
I'm Batman.
That would kind of make we have like almost 3 Batman archetypes in the group.
I wouldn't call myself Batman. I definitely kill people.
Yeah. Setch steals from the poor and kills the rich.
All right. So, does anyone else have something quick they want to do within for 2 hours before 10 p.m. in the evening hits?
Yeah.
All I want to do is start working with composite bow, so I have some ranged options.
I'm pretty much good until tomorrow because I'm pretty sure all the places I need to go are closed.
You want to work on a composite?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay.
And I have a fun idea.
It's either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Include killing things?
It could.
I'm in.
Okay. You could make a normal composite longbow within 2 days if you invested 8 hours a day on it.
That was the one with 1d10, right?
Yep.
How much for the big boy one?
would take you 8 days.
8
But
days.
that's like what you're doing 8 hours a day.
All right, let's go for a regular for now. I might go do that. It's
And there-
2 hours for now. I guess I can do some night work on it as well.
Some what? I'm sorry.
Some night work as well.
As what?
Working on it bow thing.
Exhaustion?
What are the rules on staying up? Like 1 day plus con modifier or some shit like that? Unless we're not doing that.
It's more based upon hours. I think.
Oh, well, let's go with the 2 hours for now. We are starting slow.
Let me look it up here.
Materials aren't really hard, just wood with some good string. Easy peasy. Time is really the issue here.
Just work on some hard wood right now.
Hard.
No, it's already hard.
Okay.
Some wood is soft.
What would be soft? Like
You know,
rotten wood or some shit?
Okay. Strike is working on composite bow. And then what is anyone else? What is everyone else doing? Birdman is doing research on the X.
when
Birdman, I would like an
arrows-
investigation check. But
All right. Can I, before we do this, because I believe I'm still poisoned, I would like to cast Lesser Restoration on myself. To
Touche.
become clear of thought. As I realized, re-listening to the video, that I could have casted the whole fucking time and been fine. Probably.
Yep.
Whoops.
That's okay
But it
though.
would
I
get
learned
rid
a
of
life
the
lesson.
effect.
No. The
so
poison
I-
is just because of the meat that he
The
ate.
soup. That's from the soup.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, the soup,
was-
but it's because of
I'm
the.
probably not high anymore due to just adrenaline.
Yeah, that
Oh,
part. Yeah.
Mel might be
Like,
high as well.
Still
from
have some
sucking-
plenty of weird laughter, don't we?
Yes.
Actually, Mel technically might be high because she eat some of the blood out, so you might still have weed in your bloodstream.
Well, all that adrenaline pumping through my lungs, it's probably gone. Everything.
And Mel is high now.
Investigation, huh? Let me see here. No, that's not what I want. Go back to the photo page.
No, the poison was from the
Oh boy.
the creature meat, not the weed.
That's from the terrible soup.
I still laugh how the Umborg tried to flee and we had to hunt him down.
And they ate it. That's why I don't run from her. It's a 4.
Okay. Birdman is unsure. There is no indication of an axe. So if it has been taken, it hasn't been officially processed by anyone. Is the only information you have at this point. So you know by this point you need feet on the ground, so to speak. Like someone literally needs to go like to this place by this point is the only way to verify.
Yeah, that means I have work to do tomorrow because I don't think I can go there today.
Yeah. Well, you can go. The city is 24 hours, but yeah, going to the prisons in the middle of the night, I don't know. Might be suspect.
Yeah.
Might be suspect. So the okay, Eros, what did you want to do?
When we get home, Eros is going to take Roxana, who's been with us the whole time and asleep, and is going to plop her onto her bed, and Eros is going to, after like a minute of just kind of spacing out, she's going to like shake and nudge Roxana to wake her up, saying, "Hey, hey, I got a great idea. Wake up, wake up."
I didn't have Roxana's sheet open, so give me 3.5 seconds. Why? I just fell asleep.
Yes, you have. But the world of the living still needs you for a few minutes.
To do what?
Eros is going to um, lean close and whisper in her ear. That giant turtle statue has a name, doesn't it? Have the drow said its name? I need to know.
None of them can cast the sending spell. They are waiting for you to do it so they can learn how. That's all I know. I think cast it. Maybe he'll tell you.
Cast it on the stone? Would that even work? Can you cast sending on inanimate objects?
That's what they said would happen. All I know, okay, the other day, yesterday, that was only like 16 hours ago. All right, I was doing the dance, doing the thing, and I was in the room alone, right? Except for like one other drow, and he wasn't paying attention. But I felt like he was like, I don't know what he was playing cards or something. I don't know. And but someone was watching me. I don't know. It felt like I kept looking at the statue, and it doesn't really have eyes. I guess maybe didn't seem like they blinked.
Okay. Okay.
So that's all I know. Can I go back to sleep?
Shh. Shh. And Eros kind of puts her whole hand on Roxana's face as she pushes her head back to her pillow. Quiet now. It's time for the ritual to begin. The sleeping souls of the world shall be awakened, and all that we know will come to an end.
Are you high?
I am enlightened to the truth. I see the universe as the colors make it to be.
Okay, universe as the colors make it to be. Um, can you please, beautiful, just shut up so we can go to sleep? She casts charm.
That is what say?
DC 14, wisdom.
No.
She sighs. Can you please just lay down? She casts command.
Is this another wisdom?
Wisdom save.
No.
Damn it. Please
Er-
stop talking. Class spell slots. God damn it. She's only level 2, right?
Eros stands up triumphantly with a clenched fist and a determined look on her face, and I will cast sending on the statue, on the ancient relic within the drow hold.
Right, you've seen it. I would like can you post sending again?
Yes. I shall.
Because I don't remember what I can do.
I have to say something first. And then it can respond.
There are 25 words. Okay.
So I say to it, "O statue of the turtle, I call to you to reveal thy secrets and awaken to piss in the cornflakes of the drow. Hear me and that last sound was an attempt at a burp, but it turned into a verb.
I hear you. I hear you. The drow are what?
That's all it responds.
You. To understand, you must do the dance.
Ah,
Too far. You are too far away. I think that's all my words.
I have awakened to the new sight. But damn it, I don't know its name.
You didn't ask its
fuck.
name.
Shit. Okay.
Yes, things I was not expecting you to do is
Fuck.
actually like, hey, dude, do you got a name?
I cast sending on it again. Wait, I need your name. It is imperative to the function of the world. I need your name. What are you? Please respond in course.
Sending, you don't speak in a language. You just hear. So it's interesting.
Thanks, dog.
My name is what you say it is best. But I was called plate. Like as in like plate of an armor. But you get the impression that's like what it's translated into like common. You don't know what the actual word is. Because sending, you don't speak in languages. So I imagine sending just translates to whatever you're most used to.
I mean, I did talk to a wolf.
It's true. So, yeah, they understand the meaning of your message. So it's not really you're not like he could be speaking a completely different language and you just
You
don't
said
know.
Plate? Like one singular word plate? Is what
Mhm.
it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
The world will forever be changed.
Maybe shield might be a better word too. I don't know, but
Wait, shield. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Plan. I have plan. Everything will be fine.
I love the turmoil that this is already creating.
I have plan.
Ah,
and she leaves her room. Is
Right,
Birdman sitting
there's-
at the table?
No, Birdman is like fucking in his room by himself, like staring at a wall. Like he's like trying to read and he's distracted and just can't. Like
Yeah. So there's probably a lantern or something that you see glowing from beneath the
Eros is
seal
going
of the door.
Eros is going to open the door, go up to Birdman, grab him by the shoulders, shake him as she says, "Plate! It is plate! The answer to the universe is plate!"
kind of like pushes you off of him, like I just almost died, right? Like, you're like,
It's fine.
like, what?
Everything is fine. The answers have come from beyond.
Oh, okay.
Time is
Um,
nigh.
Being mentally connected with Eros over the last 2 days, I have an idea of what this thing is that she might be talking about. Because you speaking telepathically, you're not just speaking with words, is my mind. So
Right.
able to be like, maybe she's talking about the thing. You're a pretty wise dude, is my point, ranger person.
Well, whatever it is, we'll think about it in the morning.
Yes,
Go
the
to bed.
sun. The rising of the burning flame.
Go to bed.
Eros is also high as shit.
I know. Go to bed.
To the bed I go.
Go
To
to
the
bed.
evening dawn. The wake of the sleeping giant.
Okay, if you're not gonna write any of this shit down, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay.
Eros will now go to bed.
As Eros nestles down to bed, and the rest of you go to your respective homes, more or less, to go down for the first day of the month. I would all of you get an inspiration point. As around the same time, another earthquake hits. Further, the first one is, I'm gonna mark these with a do like a purple. First one was there, closer to you all. This one, you get the impression, is further south in the city. And the noise that it makes is like an afterthought. Like there's the earthquake, and it's violent. It's pretty bad. It knocks yourself mostly on your butt if you're standing, or your bed shifts like a couple inches. Things on the walls fall off if they're not properly tacked down. There's screaming and jarring and moaning and groaning from the populace as well. And then like minutes afterwards, you're like settling and it's kind of done, but it does last for like a full minute. There's a few minutes afterwards, there's like an aftershock, but the way it feels on the ground, to especially our Birdman, who is so connected to the city, is like a building, something large in the southern part of the city has crumbled.
Look out the window. Like
You would not be able to see from your window this area other than when around the purple circle, there's about a puff of dust and smoke and whatnot about that big coming from that part of the city.
our roof. Like if I like get up.
You climb to the roof, you get a little bit better advantage, but you cannot see much more than really, you can't see much more than I've already described. You guys are in an awkward part of the city for where this is. You're starting. Roll a survival check though, like because you get a better gauge on like where the dust is kind of coming from, and you have your ability on that. But 23 is more than enough.
That is so it adds 4 to that. So 27.
27. Fuck yes. So right. You're pretty sure that part of the charnel sluice grates here has collapsed. From this earthquake. So
Mermaid just goes, fuck, and just like looks like and make sure Eros is pass the fuck out high. Looks for Cotton. Is Cotton in the house or no?
Cotton last I said was going for a jog. So I imagine they might
Training, she said.
say again.
Well, she said she's doing some training in chat, like the bipedal quadruped training, strength training or something like that.
Okay. So Cotton might be around in the city, we'll say by this point. They are a cat, and cats are nocturnal creatures, so
Strike's not here, but is he like around? Like, is he in the tunnels? Like,
I don't know, where is Strike?
He is in the house. You can probably hear some wood carving sounds where he's walking on his bow right now.
So I guess for a minute just goes and like starts doing some parkour. Starts making his way over there to see what's going on.
Okay. All of you are awoken from this. This was rather violent and the noise from all this, so you guys can decide how you want to do this. I will give this warning here that you guys have had enough time for a quote unquote short rest, but you have not had enough time for a long rest yet.
Question. I don't know if you've heard me before because I just did a mic check and it didn't seem to work. I said I kind of slept all day long, so wouldn't it be reasonable to say I'm just kind of awake all the time, like all night, without exhaustion or anything?
For tonight, we'll say yes. That makes sense.
All right.
So if you want to give yourselves a quick short rest, you can. You will have enough time for that with the time that has gone by.
I sleep all the time. I have used no resources.
I'm not. I'm talking to others too.
I know. I'm just clarifying.
Birdman definitely needs it. From the fight with the Umbra Hulks.
Yep.
So if you decide to stay awake, if you're awake for too long, I'm eventually going to ask you to roll a con save to get exhaustion if you didn't like sleep all day, but most of you did. Setch pretty much did. So did Strike. The rest of you not so much. You kind of smoked all day. So
Yeah.
you're probably tired as fuck right now, Heroes.
Eros, I think, would like fall out of the bed and like onto her face, and like she'd spring up real quick, saying, "The world, it quakes, it shakes. The dreamer, he's awoken. It crawls forth from the deep, and it bleeds out of the sky."
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Birdman yelled.
No, because of the quake and shit, I would probably mess up some stuff on my carving, and I'm like, God fucking damn it!
I imagine
What's going on now?
If Birdman like knows like he needs to sleep, he doesn't care. He's like, I need to sleep. So he kind of just like would go back in. Maybe like, I don't want to go over there, but if we have to, I will assist you guys.
I'm mad. I'm going out to kill whatever did this.
You generally get the impression, even by this point, by the time you get over there, there will be a bunch of god butchers and other people over there. You generally get the impression. So the noises you're hearing in the immediate, you just get the impression something collapsed. There's no sounds of like quote unquote fear or combat, so to speak, that you hear from the city. Like it's just people reacting to shit. Fuck. Oh no.
The river Styx calls forth the souls of the damned. Hades drags forth from his hand.
But if And if you want to help with the rescue effort and or cleanup effort, you're more welcome to. That's the
Yeah,
general impression you will get really quickly on when you go down there, is that they are just, holy shit, we need to clean this up. If we want the blood festival to continue and all this stuff, this will stop the blood festival if this isn't fixed.
So
Because
this whole,
going
like,
there
area
immediately, and I'm
would
like, what the fuck
collapse?
is going on?
say again,
The whole,
Brandon,
like,
I missed.
the whole area like collapsed over here, like buildings.
So the puff of smoke and dust is still about that, going to that inner circle of the purple by this point. And then that dark line of orange that I drew on the wall is the part that you guys would find out if communicating with people as you go down there, which I presume one of you may,
Yeah,
at
I
least
would
by this.
go down there eventually. I guess. If
Strike said he was following. So that's what you guys would get, is there's just this part of the wall is collapsed. And
I thought
it's
Aaron's just to stay at home.
it's a 200-foot section of the wall and there's Strike, you and Birdman both have a high enough survival and underground sense by loose tunnels that you've been around the city. Someone dug too wide, too deep for something,
Really?
and
They said,
yeah.
perhaps?
hmm
Hmm.
underneath the wall, and with everything else that happened earlier, it just couldn't hold. So.
Is somebody trespassing in my fucking tunnels again?
There could be by tunnels connected to yours, but it's not in the same grouping. They'd have to have a lot of effort to connect to your tunnels, but it's possible. You could definitely take a couple hours to investigate that if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
Okay, roll a survival check as you go. Where do you enter from? From your tunnels or from these tunnels?
Um, from these tunnels. Let's go from these tunnels.
Okay, and then Birdman, do you follow him or do you do?
No, I think me and Strike have this thing where we know what we're more strong at. So I will go up on top and kind of see the situation up here instead of from
Okay.
the underground perspective, because I imagine I'm faster up here.
Yeah, I would like a perception check from you, and then Eros and Setch. We'll go to Setch first. Is there anything you do to the earthquake with the earthquake?
Seth gets up, sighs, and then prepares himself once again to go out like last time.
Okay. Just with your passive perception, hearing people's reactions, general impression of what I've already said. The walls crumbled. Da da da. Kind of in response to the previous earthquake, you would probably arrive within moments after Strike already dived down in the tunnels. But I imagine with your high passive perception and Birdman, you would Birdman up above on the wall or on a house or rooftop or whatnot. You would eventually see Setch as well, and I don't need that circle anymore. So you guys meet up as best as you can, so at least with an eye shot of each other within like 5 minutes.
I'm kind of like Batman on a house, like probably looking at. I'm definitely not on the wall, right? Because they have shit on the wall, like to protect it. Like they have hella guards on the wall, right?
There's guards, shields, magical ballistas.
Yeah.
These giant fucking ballistas that are like have these spears that are the size of fucking like mansions that they shoot are ready to shoot at the Trask if it ever wakes up.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get arrested on the wall. That's probably a definite, especially not now. So yeah, I'm
That's a
probably
later.
like Batman on a house somewhere, like just sulking. And if I see Setch, I will like tell him, "Hey, this is where I am." I'll like whistle at him or something.
Okay.
I look up at him and be like, what the fuck is going on now?
And
What
he
have you
points
done?
at like the wall, and he puts his hands up. Like I didn't do shit. Puts his hands up like I almost died 2 hours ago. So I didn't do shit. I've been at home.
Around you all, there's groups of big burly god butcher guys that are just trying to help clear out any rubble of where people may have gotten, well, some of the guards may have gotten crumpled or whatnot, find some of the bodies. They're trying to clear the sluice areas, which is what they call where, so that the blood can flow tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to get all stopped up on the other side with what this has done, or go down into these tunnels.
I'm also trying to stealth too. I don't want anybody to know that I'm fucking here, other than like my friends, of course. But I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to know I'm here. I don't want.
Okay, once you get in contact with Setch, then yeah.
Hold on. Is Jim okay?
Jim isn't stationed in this part of the district. He'd probably be arriving around the same time you guys would be, but he's
Oh.
stationed on the other side of the city.
We must protect Jim at all costs.
Yeah. Okay. And Setch, do you follow Birdman and kind of search around up here to see any connections up here, or do you go down in the tunnels, or what do you do?
I'd probably start walking down the tunnels.
Okay. Birdman, would you inform him that Strike already went down there?
Yes. Strike is in the tunnel, and I'm gonna stay up here. Are we all still mentally? We're not all mentally connected.
No one. Yeah, that hasn't happened since your short rest, basically. So
So I would just, until such Strike is down there, I'm gonna stay up here and kind of see what happens, kind of clock the situation. I'm not trying to go down there because A, cops don't like me, and B, I don't want to be found at the scene where the wall blew up. So I'm good. I don't want to be at all related to this.
okay. Setch. It's tunnels, so it's just basically time. With your passive perception, you would eventually find Strike's trail. Strike isn't trying to be stealthy at this moment, so before we connect with you, does Eros do anything other than prophesize the end of the universe to the floor?
Yes. She grabbed her paint buckets, which have been in her room the whole time. This has been established at the start of the campaign. And she goes
I vaguely remember this, yes.
I thought it was Animaeus.
Well, yes, that was one time. There was a tomato incident, but she does have paint. And she goes outside and she begins painting a mosaic of a turtle god in the Buddha statue position. Like, you know, the hand raised the center of the chest, cross-legged thing. And surrounded by a flaming city with people running away and undead souls crawling and fleeing from the river Styx.
Arrows, how many it doesn't matter. You get 2 inspiration.
You really on some doomsayer shit right now, huh?
You get some extra inspiration. So if you're above, you got to spend them soon. But speaking of, are you proficient in painting?
No, but we can say we are. I have 11 sleight of hand, so
I would give me give me a sleight of hand. I'm just gonna have the DC higher because it's not actual painting.
I'm going to re-roll that. Yay.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck it. Psionic die added to it. Okay, it's 25. Whatever.
You know, that's why I said okay twice. I was like, you didn't hit 25.
You serious?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Oh, he's
serious. Okay. You, in your feverish frenzy of painting and connecting to the spirit of the artifact in the city that you did from before, and having that ethereal, just soul, absorbing connection, you read this. You see that not only made this actually come to pass, you are almost positive that you may be one of the catalysts to make it so. Whether on purpose or on accident, you put yourself in that position. And that I would like you to roll a sanity save, please.
This will go fine.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're fine.
Oh, shit.
You, in fact, gain 2 sanity. As you realize that you can control your own fate if you choose to. That you are in total control of what happens here.
Plan. The plan, it will work. As she screams like through the open window, because it's always going to be open when Birdman jumps out of it. She screams through the open window. The plan will work, Roxana. It'll work. Hades will claim no more.
Everyone thinks you're fucking crazy, though. We shall see what happens. Dun, dun, dun. All right, Strike and Setch meet up in the tunnels, and I would like you guys to roll a collaborative survival check to make your way through the tunnels to see if they connect to Strike's tunnels. Okay. Setch is kind of supervising, you know. As Ragnar is just like a hound. He's like a bloodhound badger. He's a badger, like underground, just on the ground, just on all fours. He just how he finds these little tunnels that you just like you would have like what that wasn't there. I would have fallen down the hole to the left here. And he's in his element. He's 100%
So
in his
Setch
element.
is like the safety guy, and Strike is the welder.
Yes. Yes, he's spotting you, making sure. You like 3 seconds after you walk around a hole or like this little like rock almost falls. You like after it happens, like oh yep. Watch out for that. Nonetheless,
Get irritated eventually and say, "This would go a lot faster if you'd actually help."
What do you want me to do? Like, this is your element. Like, what can I do?
I don't know. Be useful. Summon your dog or something.
There needs to be someone who is my enemy to summon my dog. He's very picky about who he eats and what he does.
And Strike realizes he's kind of being a dick and says, "I'm sorry. I got interrupted doing my stuff and I'm bad.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to my dog.
Sorry, doggy."
Well, he's not here at the moment, but
as you say that, you guys come into an open cavern, and the smell of this cavern is familiar to you, Strike. In an unsettling kind of way. It's a smell you weren't prepared to have at this moment. I would like a sanity save from Strike.
Oh, Lord. I'm already rolled dead. Fuck.
ooh,
Well,
Oh. Strike loses 7 sanity.
oh god.
It's literally
Oh.
one.
Oh god.
I'm at 1 sanity.
And Strike, the reason why you're in this moment is you have inadvertently found a back entrance that was dug out by someone with claws and shovels to the cave where Adira was killed. You smell her blood still in this room, and it jars your soul. You were not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. And
That's
you,
that's what
you,
Strike freezes.
there's the, you find the bodies of the ghouls that were slain by Cotton and the others in that fight as well.
At that moment is where Strike just freezes in utter shock and stands perfectly still like a statue for a couple of moments.
You okay there, Benjamin? I think we need to keep moving forward.
Setch, the smell eventually comes to your nose. You just don't have the sense of smell that he does. And the pool, you see bodies, and there's a pool of water, and in your dark vision, it's a dark color. Like this shallow pool of water in this cave still has blood from a few days back in there. It hasn't completely evaporated and away.
Well, I put my hand on the fur of Strike. You okay there, big man?
This is where Adira died. I guess you could say my daughter. My what's one of it's I'm not okay.
I'm sure it wasn't your fault. Princess just doesn't really know how to react or how to say anything to the situation at all. But I think we need to keep moving, buddy.
It was. I should have been there. I should have been. Should have been there. I should have been. I should have been protecting them, but I wasn't. But that's basically all he repeats for an indeterminate amount of time.
I'll kind of walk past him and jump down. Is it jumping down and into the new tunnel, or is it just like connected normally?
It's connected normally, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I would just kind of let Strike have his moment and walk past him and just make sure there's no danger nearby us or something.
You find some of the bigger tunnels that those creatures came out of. They lead at odd angles and kind of down deeper below the city. Other than that, it's not much here. You'll eventually find the tunnels that Strike has dug or that will lead you back to their apartment.
Yeah, we're not straying too far from Strike because I've got no idea where the fuck I am at the
Yeah.
moment.
We'll cut away to Birdman's perception check.
I would like to add to that. Strike's kind of having a bit of a breakdown, bit of a crisis right now, until he eventually starts to sprint the fuck away, hunting for more ghouls to kill.
Okay,
Yes.
get an inspiration point.
He's just Strike's lost it. He's literally one sanity. He's fucking lost it.
So, okay, okay, I'm going to you eventually the easiest road for you to go is I imagine you would just go forward, which would eventually lead you to your apartment and out. So Setch just starts to try to keep up with this guy.
As much as I can, but he might be faster than me. I don't know.
Yeah, he is a barbarian. With sprint rules, you have a better chance. I modified the sprint rules. I don't think I changed it on this document, but my other game we've been using the combat mechanics a little more. But sprint is anyone can use a bonus action to roll an athletics check to increase their speed for their turn. Is instead of just the deck. So for those things. So it does give you a disadvantage on your next attack if you're in combat. But you can. I wanted to give away because older versions of D&D gave everyone ability to run fast if you use the rules correctly. Because some people, everyone can sprint, kind of thing. But so he's still much faster than you though. You'll keep up.
Basic movement speed of 50 feet.
Yeah, okay. You'll
I'm just
lose
yelling.
him eventually.
I'm just yelling.
But
Eventually, you hear a deafening roar of pure fucking agony.
your passive perception is pretty high though, and he's not being quiet by any means.
I'm like just yelling at him, like, "Come on, Struck, just calm down. I can't keep up with you." As I'm trying to run to him.
Setch, get an inspiration point. And as you run through the tunnels, Strike desperately searching for a ghoul or something to slay. Setch trying to keep up in a similar sort of desperation. You guys come up above and see, like, as you get around the apartment area that you just kind of pop out of, where the tunnels are mostly kind of gathered, just this giant mural of paint. So in your current perspective that you're in, you don't know what's going on, but you do see Eros kind of nearby, just kind of covered her arms and knees, part of her face. She probably wiped some paint at some point on her face. Like, she's just covered in paint and speckles all over.
She is
And
definitely kneeling in front of it with her arms splayed out as she just like screams into the sky. Everything will be fine! The world will become one!
That's when Strike runs past and yells out, "Kill you all!"
So I'm hearing Strike in a insanity mental rage, and then as I'm chasing past him, it's like that scene from it's like the two car meme where you have the two people looking from the two cars. I just see Eros just like being batshit insane as well
Yes.
from the Umbrella Academy meme. So,
I love it. Okay. At that scene, Birdman, it's been about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And you've been kind of keeping watch for anything unusual, out of place, and nothing has drawn quite attention yet.
I have one thing that I would like to do before. If I've been out here for a minute,
Yeah.
evil awareness with my 27 perception. If I can sense anything crazy.
This is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Let me look at another map. Remind myself of anything that's important here. The yellow dot on your map, right? You see that big yellow dot,
I'm
right?
pretty much standing, yeah.
Yeah. Like within, below you, with relatively close, like a couple 100 feet. You're not sure how you would get there exactly, but in your current situation, you sense over a dozen undead.
oh fuck.
Two in specific, and one themed,
Oh fuck.
Oh fuck.
and no.
Wait, you said fiend?
Yeah, one fiend and a dozen or so
Oh.
dragons.
Oh, oh,
Wait,
just
dragons?
Oh,
No, a
man.
dozen or so undead. I'm sorry. I
What'd you
looked at the
say?
word dragon. I looked at the word dragon while I was trying to say the word undead.
Jesus
baby.
fuck! We're not the Dragon Riders right now. We will actually die.
Yeah. Okay. Your fiend. Okay. I didn't know you're. Okay. So you have advantage if when you're looking for this fiend. You have advantage on any survival check. To track this person. So, roll me a history check.
Okay.
You get your little
Then
proficiency bonus if you're proficient.
I'm not
Okay.
15.
10 DC lets you know that this is 12th house district.
Oh fuck. Okay, so this is
They own this part of the
oh,
world,
okay.
and there's been a lot of construction around this area, so you're thinking it might be a drow complex that, maybe city officials don't know about.
I'm in the projects right now. It's cool.
And then DC 5 lets you know that Mel was looking into a sewer investigation in this part of the city.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, if she doesn't try to kill me again, this will be pretty good information for me to give her at some point when we reconcile and become best friends and she gives me the bird bong back.
Enemies
So-
and friends. Truly a JoJo moment.
Yes.
This is my chance to get the bird bong back, so I have to check what it is without dying, preferably.
You want to go down in the tunnels and sewers by yourself.
I will try to do so. Yeah. And
All
hopefully
right.
not-
I would like you to roll me a survival check.
Okay.
Question.
Uh,
Can I use my free inspiration to run and slaughter straight into these undead?
they are underground, and you're unaware of them at this point.
Do I get my? Okay, I guess I have a question. If I'm tracking a fiend into this tunnel, I would get advantage, but not the extra proficiency because I'm going into the underground, like the Underdark territory, right?
Indeed.
Okay, that's what cool, great. So I'm gonna roll with it.
So yeah, if you want to focus on the fiend idea, yeah, we could do that. Sure.
Yeah.
That brings me to this idea. Yep, we're gonna do that idea.
He would also get a fade
And
ping very
And a
far
fake
away.
thing from you,
Yeah.
but I imagine I can tell that's probably you because it would be over by the house.
And arguably there might be other Fae in the city. Does Seth remember all these things? No. Okay. All right.
It is
Okay.
within 6 miles, and we have established that this is a very
And
small.
that is a pretty decent check.
Yeah. The city is
All
more
right.
well.
Do I do it? We'll do it that way because that's yeah. Okay. Birdman. At the end of the kind of time period I aforementioned of like an hour and a half when everyone's doing this thing that they've described of painting and going through tunnels and whatnot, you spend the last hour plus starting to figure out as best as you can with your primeval awareness and your favorite enemy survivalist skills that you pick up on pings and find subtle indications of people that are obviously putting resources and things. Like there's a lot of traffic in the, like, it's not like your typical sewer. It's really well maintained and clean for the most part, which is odd to see. And it has different apparatuses on the ceiling and like tanks and pipes and things that are like siphoning the blood from the sluice grates. You generally get the impression the more you're down here that maybe they wanted the wall to collapse, kind of thing.
So this is a setup and not an accident.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay.
And you find yourself eventually. I need to drag this map up so I don't have to move so many steps. So give me 1 second to do this DM thingy. Brandon, you eventually find yourself. I'm gonna put Brandon on this map for a briefest moment.
Uh-oh.
I'm on a
And
new map.
you're kind of you don't have dark vision.
I don't.
Okay, then I need what there should be. No, it's pretty dark down here. Okay, you get really dark down here. Do you light a torch or something?
I will have to. Yeah.
And you like hop down after going through like a winding kind of trail of tunnels, um, man-made and not, to come to this kind of obviously very structured sewer system that has been put in place. That helps the city kind of funnel things out, but it also seems like it's been established by presumably the 12th house to take more than their fair share of the resources from the Trask. And you're kind of on this raised stone platform that is part of this sewage system that goes 30 feet out from you. Your light etches into another room, and you can see moving out of your vision some humanoid shapes kind of walking away from the light, and then they kind of moan and groan as they obviously become aware of the light from that sort of position. And what would you like to do?
Humanoid. Am I still getting the pings? Like, are these undead or
You're 98% sure they're undead.
fuck? Man, I would love to investigate more, but this is so fucking dangerous. But I know that there's tunnels, like there's man-made tunnels down here with stone platforms and more. I think for now, Birdman would realize that he is probably outmatched and go back up if I can. Just okay, this is about as far as I can probably get.
Okay.
without-
If you leave, okay, then I would like another survival check to try to find your way out again, back to the upper part of the city.
And this is not with advantage, but do I get the?
Yeah, we'll say you get the thing because you're trying to make your way back to the city.
So it's a 16.
Okay, 16, and you needed a 15.
Get lost in these tunnels? That'd be crazy.
Okay. As you come back up to the city map, into that part of the city, is about the same point when Strike and the others are kind of meeting up in that, more or less within a few moments of each other. I would. I would like you all to roll a strength save.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Because as you're walking through the city, another earthquake hits, and it shakes violently through the city. And the closer you are to Birdman, is the higher the DC.
Never been so glad to be a barbarian.
So
So, all right, Birdman, are nearly thrown backwards as a chunk of the ground, the street beneath you, crackles just to the north of you and erupts towards you, and you have to launch yourself out of the way quickly before this whole like 15-foot by 15-foot chunk of like cobblestone just cemented together flies towards your direction. The rest of you feel ripples through the city of this eruption from where near Birdman is. And Setch is thrown backwards, toppled off to the side as it like he just loses his footing, and people around you are falling that are out and about walking if they don't have something nearby to grab on or running. Banisters and pillars shatter and crumble. Parts of buildings just fall over. There's glass shatters at various buildings throughout the city. Closer to Birdman is more violent. You hear screaming and moaning and fear, people running and away from the Tarrasque, assuming the Tarrasque is waking. That's what people start to say. Birdman, you see no evidence of that in your current predicament. And then the dust starts to settle and clear, and you kind of gather yourself and move. And this giant eruption, it is eruption, something like threw and lifted that chunk. And there's pieces of it all over you. You just kind of dodged away from one chunk of it. That 15-foot chunk was a small piece of this much larger chunk. And you kind of resettle yourself. There's a couple people that have been crushed and shattered by buildings and other stuff falling around you, Birdman. And everyone's immediately like, the rest is still asleep. Nothing going on. The binds are still holding. There's no shiver from the arcane magic in any way, shape, or form. But nonetheless, all the giant ballistas point towards it into the center just in case within moments. And the general city is awoken by this point. It is very, very violent. And Birdman, everyone's settling, grabbing people, trying to see the damage, and they kind of get closer to this hole that erupted out. And Birdman, do you go closer?
No. Fuck
Okay.
that. I like.
Where do you do?
I probably go higher, like to see if I can look
You
out
go-
at the hole without like
Do you go on the wall or do you go in a building?
on a building, like
Okay.
close to the hole. I guess I can like look into it and see what comes out of it if anything comes out of it.
Okay.
Not
I would like you to re-roll a stealth check as well too, because I imagine that makes sense with your positioning as well. And then your passive perception is more than enough for this. Okay. Out of the hole after a few moments, it's settled, and then there's another. But it's close to you. It's still a big shiver and shake, but it's like not erupting through the entire city. And then a few seconds.
So was this like out of the? It's like out of the. I am going to assume out of the room that I was looking into, or that I could have walked
Nearby to where you were, down in
right.
those sewers.
So it's around that sewer area, but there's just like
Yes.
a chain reaction going on of things blowing
Yes.
up from down there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know there's some shit down there anyway. So, okay.
Yes.
Great.
And then another, and then a few seconds, a Tarrasque jumps out.
Oh fuck!
The size of a fucking, 8-story mansion. Just
Oh!
alive, not undead. Everyone, level up.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh shit.
I want to attack it. I want to kill it.
To be clear, this is not a full-grown Tarrasque. You can clearly see that, Birdman, but it is much bigger than the baby Tarrasque you've seen
Whoa.
before.
Baby Tarrasque!
And that is the actual size compared to the actual Tarrasque. I measured to make sure. So compared to the actual Tarrasque that sleep here, that's how big this thing is.
Oh baby!
Things
That's a
have
fat HP increase.
Don't do your level up. I'm gonna go pee real quick and grab a quick snack, and then you can type in the chat when you're ready. I think makes the most sense.
I
For
fucking
those things.
told you the end times were nigh. Holy shit, that's a fucking great roll.
Dude, we got fatty HP increases over here. Hell yeah!
Yeah, it's fucking damn. I fucking told you the end times were near. Ooh, uncanny dodge. And 3d6 on my sneak attack now.
Oh boy,
Yay.
that's pretty good.
I'm sitting at a very moderate 133 HP now.
You know, I might actually need to use the new ability that I just got. So,
Like your instincts kick in that very moment, like, oh shit.
I start covering myself with shit. Yeah, to hide. I'm like, oh fuck. Dirt and all kinds of shit.
I'm
'Cause I
fucking
get
rolling
hide- I get
for
hide in-
initiative.
I get hide in plain sight now.
It's like you just have one of those awakening moments where it's like
Where is it?
every feather on your body just stands up and you're like, oh shit, I need to hide.
Well, now that I'm level 10 as a ranger, I get a third favored terrain. So now that will be Underdark, and now I'm not afraid in the Underdark anymore.
You're like, oh, the
You're
Underdark.
suddenly an expert.
I'm suddenly an expert from the 2 seconds I was down there.
No, you know about the Underdark under the city.
Yeah.
Your mind, the pathways in your mind just
No.
start to quickly connect.
After the last Animaesus campaign and all the drow shit that happened there under the tower, like the Underdark underneath this continent is fucking huge. Fucking huge.
Yeah, I imagine I'll have knowledge of the Underdark if I ever go down there. But in the short term, it's the Underdark under this specific city will be learned.
So it's like the Underdark.
Yeah, the upside of the Underdark.
Oh,
Basically, all the
always
drow
look at the
hang out
bright
here.
side of the Underdark.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Woohoo!
So let's just add that into my natural explorer. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
All of you are getting crazy cool things. I'm gonna put in chat for everyone else about the
I just get another meta magic. That's about it.
I mean,
Sure, you-
that's pretty neat.
which one are you grabbing? If you don't
Uh,
mind saying.
Quicken spell.
My favorite. One of my
I got
favorites.
subtle
Do you
spell,
have
twin spell,
Transmutant
and quicken
or
spell.
Transmutant already?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
and my
joined
side eye level up.
I joined a different Saturday game because my other one kind of fell apart that I kind of play in the evenings, and I made a Goliath sorcerer. It's a lot of fun. High strength, but also a sorcerer. I'm gonna eventually multi-class in barbarian.
Sorcerers, I think, are my favorite spellcaster.
I'm enjoying it a lot. Like, yeah, you don't have as many spells, but I like the power that you feel powerful. I think
Is a lot of fun.
Unbiased.
I just got the barbarian equivalent of Undead Fortitude.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
I'm biased. I played a wizard for damn near 6 years, and I love that man.
As insane as he is.
As much of a crackhead as he is.
My psionic die is more powerful. My mind is awakening. I just want it to be known that everything that I have been saying this entire time has completely been just off the cuff. I had zero plans for any of this.
I know, but you inadvertently latched into a possible story thread that I did write. Not the guaranteed one, but a possible one. Which I'm enjoying. Like, yeah, you technically could destroy the city. That's okay. You guys are pretty powerful now. Like, there are not many people, quote unquote, as PCs that I've made that are this high level or higher. There's not
So
many.
let's overthrow the government.
NPC is a different story, just so you know. Like the matron mother, she may be a leveled spellcaster, but that she might have, almost 300 HP. So,
Whoops.
Give me like 3 turns.
NPCs are a different thing. Yes, 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 yes. That's why we turn you into a mouse and put you in a box.
That's why I can
I mean, here's the thing.
spell turn him into a
A
mouse.
sorcerer, but a sorcerer with Quicken Spell and Blade Ward would be a pretty good threat.
I need to get Blade Ward for my sorcerer. That's a good idea.
Man, I didn't
That's
think
a
about
really
that.
good idea.
You should get
It's
subtle
fine.
spell. It's fucking
Subtle spell's good.
Subtle spell, canna spell is busted.
That's my next meta magic for mine. I chose Empowered Spell because he does it's a heavy combat game, so I chose Empowered Spell first.
Or just a sorcerer of any two level warlock tip, just Gates of Babylon, 8 Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast is fun. I really like the Genie Warlock. It's fun. I really like their simple mechanic you get early on. It can help you with their
Which
little X.
which subclass of sorcerer are you
Ah.
going?
He's greater.
I did the Storm Sorcerer, and
That one looks cool.
then I'm gonna do the Storm Herald Barbarian, so I can just like create a storm around me, and then also like shoot lightning bolts and stuff. I did Sorcerer first. We have 3rd level spells. He has lightning bolt and stuff.
I think
Oh.
Storm Sorcerer and Shadow Sorcerer are the most underrated sorcerer subclasses.
I would agree. I almost chose Shadow. I was almost gonna do a. I didn't know what race, but I wanted to do a Shadow Sorcerer after what I've seen you do with Shadow Sorcerer. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. But then like Storm Sorcerer, it made more sense with Goliath that I kind of fell in love with.
I like those two because there's just so much flavor you can put into it. Like fucking all my spells are just creatures that I'm summoning from the shadows to like bite people and stuff.
Yeah. No, Jenny multi-classes all the time, and she throws in Storm Sorcerer all the time as like a extra flavor to some of her characters, just to have, because their little ability they get early on is really useful.
Is she like a monk blood hunter?
Monk is one of them.
It's like
Yes.
ranger, monk, and something else.
I have to look at her sheet because I don't. Jenny always does it, and Jenny always does at least
I know it's 3.
2 to 3 classes. No,
She's
Jenny is a ranger monk cleric.
Holy shit!
That's very daring.
God damn. I
The
respect that.
cleric thing is related to her undeath. You guys have learned.
Yeah. I've never been. Just myself. I've never been too much of a fan of multi-classing. I've just never been able just to do it or make it work at all.
No, this is
It
like
ta-
one of the
yeah.
first characters I'm doing that has ever like multi-classed. So I'm
I usually don't recommend it for most people, but you know, if you have an idea for your character, it works.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, going to be more than 2 is like, you're losing
Right.
out on some really high level stuff. But if you have a good flavor and you use your cantrips well, you could make up for it. I've seen it
Considering
happen.
classing for multiple characters, but like unless it's like a hexback dip or a 3-level barbarian with like a psychic resistance class, and then
Yeah.
go druid the rest of the way for wild shape,
Well,
and druid
It works-
specifically.
it works with
I
Marvel.
don't see it.
I'm gonna give Jenny another compliment. She does it well. I've seen her mix 3, 4, and 5 classes in such a way, even at high level, to where it's like awesome. Like she made in our other game a warlock cleric homebrew class from the DM and monk, and was basically effectively a better archer than a ranger or fighter.
Pretty
I
cool.
need
With-
to teach me.
It was like
That's
she
like-
she did so much damage when she hit, and her plus to hit at level 20 was plus 19.
At a 4-level multi-class.
That's
She
what
just
we
planned.
call.
I need to
That's that-
teach me.
That's that game sense that cannot be taught.
That
You
that's
just
that
have-
min maxing, dude. You gotta
yeah, you
that's
just have to
study.
know. If you
Yeah.
if you know, then
Well,
you know.
You'll see it. Mel is another one of those characters. She has these 3 classes lined up to where it's like, Mel and Strike are the 2 strongest physical types right now in the party. Like, hands down. Like Mel could keep up with Strike almost if she pops all her shit at the same time. She could fuck up some stuff.
I mean, just even like me and my just skills, like using rogue expertise plus eloquence bard.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh.
no, you, Birdman, and Satch in the right situation with your skills are like your charisma and wisdom based skills are ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
And then
the skills are great.
Setch's ability, his illusion magic is insane. Like we haven't been able to highlight that as much as I think we would like, but he has some pretty bad shit. Like so, and arrows, your divination and persuasion is just like there's no one in this city that can say no to arrows by this point. Like it'd be very few people can like roll a high enough insight to be like, No, I don't want to do that. Very cool. Is everyone ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
I was want to add that eloquent spot is like the social equivalent of a specialized barbarian. In
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah.
Wait till I get
Yeah.
my points in investigation rogue. I
Strike. I, we've yet to be in a combat with Strike where he just doesn't destroy it within 3 rounds. So
I specifically chose Beast Barbarian to not be totally overpowered.
well,
As
I almost did Beast Barbarian with my yeah. After seeing what you did with Beast Barbarian, I almost was like with my sorcerer I made as Goliath. I was one of my other ideas is doing an Orc Beast Barbarian that got bit by a wolf and part werewolf kind of thing.
I can tell you from experience, an Orc Zealot Barbarian is just it's insanity. It's pure
Oh.
insanity.
I love orcs. I'm making my Saturday group that fell apart. It was the same DM that runs my Monday game. We're still playing that one, but he wants to do something to make up because our Saturday game people just couldn't meet Saturday evening for Saturday evening's hard, but we're doing an evil campaign at high level, and I'm making I haven't decided the exact class mashup I want to do, but a barbarian warlock at least, maybe just full barbarian. And he's a warlord that I'm gonna have a Horn of Valhalla, so I can summon a bunch of berserkers to like help fight me and shit. And it's gonna be awesome.
How would you mix Barbarian and Warlock though? I'm curious about it. I've never heard of that.
I've seen in our evil campaign when you guys killed Kellenvor, one of the guys was that, and the way he did it, he did
Sounds like a pact.
he did a zealot barbarian with a hexblade warlock.
just Hexblade Warlock on top of the Zealot Barbarian, so you just focus on the Zealot Barbarian and add the Hexblade perks.
Yeah. So he only used his spells to do Eldritch Smite, which is the equivalent of kind of Divine Smite in a way, which technically isn't a spell, so he could bypass the rage issue of not being able to cast spells.
With Eldritch Smite, max regular Warlock, but you could do like, what was it, 78, 88 damage per attack for
Yeah.
any you've got?
If he used a spell, yeah, he did a lot of he burned out quickly. He burned his, but then he would just turn off his rage and just Eldritch blast the shit out of people. Just like, if he couldn't get up on him. You guys almost fought him. He's one of the guys that you could have fought, and I like souped him up because his character was fucking insane, the shit he could do, but he just kind of focused on the barbarian side. But it was a really cool amalgamation that I saw. It was just like a warlock barbarian. I was like, huh, I kind of like that idea.
Definitely
But yeah,
would've been very fun for all of our magic men, for sure.
he would have, yeah, because he would have been able to do counterspell a couple times, and
Yeah.
like a barbarian that can counterspell. Like if he wasn't raging, but still, like
Hold on. It was Bariel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, that was Bariel's barbarian you made.
His character would have fucked me up if I wasn't invisible in one shot.
Because he did a good job balancing the range versus the melee. Like he could do really good damage range, with just because he took a couple of the invocations for Eldritch Blast, and I don't know. And then I also have seen Warlock Paladin. I was debating about that too. Would be at high level can be a really good mix if you do a similar
Bro. Crack.
Hexblade Paladin. Do like a it's all right. Well,
Hexblade Paladin is like the unmaddened version of a regular Paladin. It's
You just-
insane.
yeah, dude. Ugh. You just do vengeance. Oh, you just do Oath of Vengeance and end people's.
I mean,
existence.
You can just, if you go by point by alone, you sacrifice a little bit of armor class for so much fucking more damage.
I have a very good story element to implicate how I learned how to do this. Dude, I looked at Taraz
I
pop out
didn't
of the hole,
say-
and I'm like, oh! And I start looking for shit around, like, Yep, there's some dirt. Yep, there's a piece of some stone. Yep, I'm just gonna. Yep.
I'm a rock now.
I'm gonna go cover myself with this giant piece of
Yep.
stone.
I'm like, oh, there's a dead body. Probably not very safe. But hold up, I'm just gonna take his cloak real quick. Hold on, I'm just gonna catter myself, and then I'm just gonna climb
Well,
over this rock. And
That brings up the question. What that's what Birdman's doing for the next minute. He's trying to camouflage himself away from the Tarrasque as it slowly climbs out and is obviously drowsy and drugged, as best as you can tell. Birdman. It's like shaking and shambling. It's not like doesn't the way it's moving. It doesn't seem like it's fully awake. By any means. It so effectively, for the sake of this situation, he is poisoned. For the current situation, which was effectively what I'm going to call it, even if he, so for those things, no, not poison. I'm sorry. Not poison. Exhausted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like
was thinking
it's
of-
like when you hop out of the cryo tube after 50 years of being in there, and you're like,
Mhm.
you're groggy.
So
Oh, yeah, and then
it has a couple levels of exhaustion. Definitely, you get the impression. So you guys can use that to your advantage, I guess. Birdman, at least in the current mode. I have to look up exhaustion again. All right, yeah, he has 2 levels of exhaustion.
Strikes in
Um,
the same
Oh,
kill
that.
mode. So yeah, he's just gonna go for the attack.
okay, so Strike starts running through the city towards the noise. Eros, Setch, what do you do?
As Eros gazes up at her masterpiece, her magnum opus, if you will. Is Setch right there? Like in eyesight?
Depends how far Strike would have run.
If you're trying to keep up with Strike, Strike would have to run around this way. So you would probably see Setch is like probably there as Strike is here after how fast fucking Strike is.
If Strike is just normally running, or if he's dashing.
What's up to you?
He's dashing, definitely. So, like frothing at the mouth, out for anything.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. If you were just like jogging, you'd be like here, but he's like, he's moments already past the corner. This fucking badger is as fast as a fucking wolf,
Okay.
horse almost.
Eros
Strike
would
10 horsepower.
Eros would yell out to Setch. Setch, do you have a sending spell?
I'd imagine from running, because Setch's constitution isn't very high, and then being pretty much knocked to the ground, he's just like fucking, he's winded, he's like, he's feeling fucked. He just puts his arm up if he can. He's like, just he doesn't have the strength to yell or anything. He's put his arm up and like does the downward no, like the thumbs down sign.
Damn it. Okay.
He's
Then
like panting and like fucking convulsing on the ground a little bit.
I must then wait until tomorrow. The rising of the sun will bring a new dawn. A new era will begin.
Oh no. Perfect timing.
Strike just kind of half yells out the entire time. Kill.
Wait, Seth, do I still have? I'm pretty sure I still have Altapar's grimoire somewhere in the house.
Oh my god.
So I want to sacrifice another one of the spells in there to cast Sending. DM contemplating heavily.
God.
Death, are you muted?
Are you muted?
No, he's not muted.
Yeah, I
Oh.
muted myself.
Okay.
What's up, Jenny?
Hi.
Welcome
Martial
to
law.
The end of the world.
maybe. Okay. Well, as I look up his sheet to see what will make the most sense to do this with, let's do a little quick recap for Jenny. We picked up relatively right after people left your house. And the group kind of split their perspective ways, more or less. There was a little bit of research done by Setch. Strike started to do some crafting. Birdman started to try to figure out if he could get the axe legally in some means. If there's any indication, still can't locate it. Eros returns home and starts to paint a mosaic on the city streets.
Well, first I
And-
contacted the ancient vessel. I mean, ancient
Yes, that's right.
artifact.
I forgot to write that note down. Yeah, with ascending spell and kind of talk to the ancient artifact that's underground, that weird turtle man thing. And then there was an earthquake. It collapsed at like 10 p.m., like 2 hours in game time to the session. Part of the circular keep that kind of houses the Tarask. People started to investigate. Setch and Strike went in the tunnels and found a connection to his tunnels that has obviously been established and on purpose by someone. And they inadvertently locate Adira's death spot just by kind of happenstance. This forces Strike to have a sanity save. He's lost quite a bit of sanity by this point.
He's at literally 1 sanity.
Yes. Satch has been witnessed this and has been trying to keep up with Strike, trying to make sure he doesn't get lost within the city. And this takes about 2 hours of investigation or so. Meanwhile, Birdman goes down in a different part of the tunnels and finds a connection he thinks that was related to the sewer system that you were asked to investigate. Realizes there's a bunch of undead there, and there's a fiend he's found that he's trying to locate as well. Decides to go try to regroup with people, but when that happens, after like about 2 hours around midnight, another earthquake erupts, and a medium-sized Tarask comes from the depths of the city and has arisen like a Godzilla to attack the southern parts of the city.
Average Tarask.
It's a
Oh,
medium-sized Tarask.
and Arrows prophesies the end of the city.
Yeah. With
I
her,
see
with her,
everything's running smoothly.
everything's running exactly
Everything-
according to plan.
Everything's going fine for me, though. We're chilling over here.
And so everyone just got done leveling up for reaching the milestone of Tarask coming into the city. So if you need to take a moment to do your milestone, please do so.
Mm. Okay.
And now the group is basically just deciding who's going where. Strike his sanity on a fringe. He's looking for something to unleash his rage on, so he just starts just charging towards the roars and moans of the Tarask. Set's desperately trying to keep up. Birdman is trying to hide from the Tarask at this moment. So he's not seen because he's right next to it, pretty much. Within a couple 100 feet, which to a Tarask isn't that far. So.
And I am sacrificing the spells out of a grimoire. Somehow.
Yeah, you ran back in the apartment, and I need an Arcana check for Eros to read said spells. To figure out what is even going to maybe have enough power to do this.
Done it before, I'll do it again. And if I need to, I'll pour a psionic dye into it. If I need to.
No, that's enough. I'm just trying to decide what makes the most sense here. Um,
And it was a fireball last time.
mhm. Okay. 19 lets you know all of this. So he has a few spells that you could sacrifice. I'll let you decide which one you would like. Counterspell, fly, greater invisibility, ice storm, stone skin, cone of cold, big bee's hand, chain lightning, or wall of ice.
I will sacrifice Cone of Coals.
Okay.
But then how you make hot days frosty?
Yeah, you still got
He
Ice
still
Storm.
has a wall of ice and a wall of ice.
Wall of popsicle.
Okay, so you sacrifice cone of cold, and I need you to roll a performance check.
Performance.
Why did I doubt this?
Okay.
Okay, so would you like to describe how casting cone of cold turns into sending?
So she as she holds her hand over the grimoire, her bardic energy kind of flows between her hand and the book, and like this freezing aura mist kind of flows out towards her, to where her psionic energy then also kicks in and starts zapping between the two until it forms and coalesces into this small little pearl that she can crush to cast sending.
And when you crush it, the entire room turns ice cold, like drops 50 degrees. So you're shivering as you speak.
Okay, and I cast this spell onto. I just want to make sure I have her name right. To Mistra.
I would also
Yeah.
like a con save. Okay, fine. This was exhausting and taxing to you, but you're fine.
Okay. So, yeah. So I cast sending to the goddess Mistra, and
Okay.
and I say to
Right.
her,
You asked the goddess of magic.
"I have much to discuss. Need more words to conversatiate. Must talk to you in person at earliest convenience. The fate of reality at stake."
Uh, I cannot breach the veil, but I can maybe send aid. That's all she says.
Of course, the t- the curtains between life and death always getting in my way. Hmm.
She just casts aid.
Then There is only one thing to do. I must approach the veil. And she's going to leave the house and is going to dart off to the location where Altapar is currently being held, with the grimoire in her hand as well.
Okay, so where Pio is
Yeah.
up here. Okay. Okay. Set, strike, running. All right. What does Mel do to this situation? There have been 2 earthquakes this evening. And now, in the distance, if you're still in your apartment, you hear the moans and roars of a creature and a battle erupting.
Hmm.
And the
I think
guards,
she would
like,
probably start. Yeah, I think she would probably start heading towards the battle. If nothing else, to just have an excuse to hurt stuff.
oh, join the club.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then, I would like you to roll a perception check as you run to see if you have a chance to notice something. As you're the only one in that area that would. Oh, Eros, no, roll a perception check. 2.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Mel does not, but Mel would around that time probably run into Setch and Strike around in this part of the city within, a couple 100 feet of each other as they're running towards the thing. The noise down there. Eros, as you get to the gates of the Beast Crown to the north here, you see, do not run into, but see, and Shallow Butter is with you. You see Talaria and her dwarf friend making their way quickly and quietly to the stage courts, as best as you can tell. Probably taking matters into their own hands about his axe. And taking advantage of the distraction that this is allowing them to do. So you do notice that. Is there anything you want to do? You follow them, or do you just continue on your way?
I continue on my way.
All right, cool. They continue on their way then. That is a general. Okay. All right, and then Strike, Mel, and Setch run. And in these 5-10 minutes, Birdman is moving things, trying to camouflage, hide an area of this part behind where the Trask is. And it kind of, the Trask gets distracted more or less to move kind of this way. And it's engaged by a dozen or so different people from guards and whatnot as they try to stop it from moving further into the city. And it's carnage and slaughter. Like, they do damage, it destroys them. Like, they hurt it, but it's just it rips through a good chunk of them, and it is
Man.
by that point. I need to double check a map to make sure
Well,
you guys
know
are
what
on
I'm
there.
gonna do?
We heard it.
Yeah.
We heard it.
Oh, that's what I did. That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. right there.
So. Sorry, I have too many maps and I misplaced the one I created because I didn't put a name on it because I was dumb. Lessons. Names are powerful things. All right. And you're going to be put on a big map because this thing's big. And I wanted the size to be equivalent to how I see this shit. So, Birdman, kind of over there. Eros is up there, so not here. No. Ragnar. And such. And all right. So drag this one up. All right. So Birdman, there's like rubble kind of all around that's been like tossed around to different places, buildings. Imagine bodies and soldiers and things have been waylaid and they're everywhere. I just don't want to draw everything.
That's fine. I have rolled you a very fat sanity check.
Yes. And the wall to the south here on this map is actually the wall to the north. I just didn't want to flip it because this map was kind of pre-made. But nonetheless, like the wall that's kind of was torn and broken is to that direction. So
South.
this way is south. This way is south. This way is north. Basically. So you guys should actually probably then be opposite, but that's okay. We'll play with it. I would like you all to roll initiative.
Yeah.
And Eros, you can drop yourself on here so we can roll initiative so I don't lose track of you.
Okay.
And
Don't worry, guys. I'm here in spirit.
I'm gonna give myself disadvantage because Satch has been running around for the past like hour and he is fucking winded.
Myself on the
makes
wall.
sense.
Still not bad though.
Okay. Setch, get an inspiration point as I'm gonna re-roll the Tarrasque's initiative.
Hey, doggy. Calm down.
Okay. All right. So Mel quickly dashes very near supernaturally, is just in this area and just kind of appears Setch off to your vision over there to the left. And you guys can kind of see Strike that's kind of jumped and quickly dashed through this kind of small market district that's here in this part of the city. It's markets kind of all over the city. And what do you do, Mel? This thing is easily 5 stories tall. Just like hovering at 2 or 3 stories above the rest of the houses here.
I'm going to run after Strike a little bit, I think. Get to be about there. Then I'm gonna point at him and cast command and just say stop.
Roll that wisdom save.
Yeah.
Okay, you speak the word. Okay, you just stop in your tracks.
Strike's
Going.
jobs.
And for you're the next
Yeah,
round, that's what
Mel.
you're doing for the next round. Is you just can't move.
Then after that, I'm going to bonus action cut my hand on my sword.
So violent. The imagery, though.
Owie.
All right, necrotic.
Why is that? Okay.
What the fuck?
What is
It,
that?
it needed to
Toggled
roll.
my HP and then it re-rolled my initiative.
You know, just making sure you're ready. Okay,
I'm
that
so
is
ready.
your strike. What do you want to do?
What can I do other than just stop?
You could talk.
You can talk.
Well, I suppose I would glare back at Mel and still frothing at the mouth, snarl out, "Oh, why do you want me to stop?"
Because we need to think before we act.
Slice it, dice it, rip into it, tear it apart, kill it!
Birdman,
Think about
what do
it.
you do?
Oh,
You are effectively camouflaged at this point. You
I'm
have
camouflaged, but I am freaking the fuck out. Like I'm like, oh. So I think I'm just like sitting and waiting and hoping that a bunch of other things don't come out of this giant hole, like undead, that fiend possibly, and a bunch of other crazy shit that might have been under the city that I was just under. So I'm just hiding, man. I'm just like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
all right. Why don't you roll a stealth check with your +10
Yeah, man.
as your action? Then, as you just kind of chill and wait, make sure in case something else comes out, you're ready for it.
My god.
So a nat 1 is a 22.
Is a 22.
You know,
Holy shit.
a nat 1 is a 22. So
Yeah.
you're very hidden.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
How is
cost,
it
I guess.
we just accept it.
Hey, if you had passed without trace, you'd be at 32.
You could,
Oh,
yes, because they are two different abilities technically. All right, Setch. What do you do?
So
You s-
it comes around the corner to here, and he's like about to yell at Strike, but then he takes in a deep breath and just doesn't have the strength in him to do it. So he just kind of just like stands there in pants. And that's my turn. I can't really do anything. Wait, do I
Out of
see
character. Sorry.
do I see the Tarask like behind these
Yeah,
buildings?
it's like a story or two, at least above the building next to it, in front of over here. So yeah, you see its head and the spines and shit.
I don't think I have a spell that have any range. Yeah, nothing. I will just. I'll dash. Actually, no, I won't dash because he's too tired. That's my turn.
All right. The Trask gets done kind of ripping a one of the god butchers in half and throws it to the side at the start of its turn, and it then looks around, can't really see anyone, doesn't really know what to do, so it just kind of doesn't want to go back in the hole. There's a building in its way. It just is gonna smash the building and just so claw and horns just slams through the building and just stomps its way through, and those buildings are effectively just gone. And you hear screams and people just getting destroyed in the process as the building kind of crumples through its wake, and then moves about half its speed or so through the rubble as it's difficult terrain for itself, and then kind of stops there. Eros, what do you do?
So, where exactly would I be? Like, would I be at the door or like walking in or whatever?
We'll say you're walking in.
Okay. Who's in there? And this is like the little tavern space, right?
Yeah, we'll say why don't we jump to that? All right, so you are in here. Oh, you guys can, I guess, still stay here. Okay. PO probably has a dozen or so citizens and people that are close to him that are just hiding out in the thing. He's not going to engage. He's just keeping people safe right now. It's kind of what he's doing. His people. So he and about 12 other people. Altapar is still tied up. They've obviously been feeding and watering him to keep him alive, but his face is bloodshot red, and he's probably passed out because you eventually just get so much blood to your head you just can't stay conscious.
Okay. Where is Altapar?
No, Altapar's tied up still.
Okay. Is he like where exactly though?
Next to the fire still.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna walk up to him. Have his
You're gonna have to slap him a couple times to wake him up. Like, he's not with it at all. He has like the equivalent of like 4 or 5 levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
Like, he's
Yeah, I'll slap the shit out of him until he wakes up, saying, "Awaken! Awaken! The time is nigh. The dawn comes soon. But the end, the veil, it's still up. It needs to be torn."
You're gonna tear my veil? What?
Shut up. It's time. The river Styx calls out for the souls of the damned to return. She's going to hold up his grimoire, and she is going to call out, "Mistra, goddess of magic, aid me now. Give me guidance, strength beyond strength, sight beyond sight. Allow me to pierce the veil. I offer to you the soul of this fucktar right in front of me."
Fucking hell!
And I will use 4 inspiration to
No.
draw, to using his grimoire to in this prayer to Mistra, to draw out Altapar's soul, an offering to her, so that she may claim it.
That's worst nightmare. I used 4 inspiration.
Hey, give me a sec. I need to make a judgment about how Mistra feels about this. um.
This is for the greater good.
To be clear, is Eros still high as well?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, they haven't had a long rest yet. Uh,
Important question. Does Eros have a post-high hangover?
No. You don't get
Okay, good.
You don't get a hangover from being high.
Depends on how high you got.
At most, she'll just be sleepy.
a sending spell is cast on you. And the gods have made a pact to not interfere with mortals. Their tasks are their own. The power to defeat this is here. And you generally get the impression she refuses his soul.
Then, and this is in response.
In this situation, she refuses it. She's not.
Then, Eros responds. Then, if he will not be accepted, then I must usher in the next era of the world. And the flames of Hades will rise.
Another
And
sending spell is cast on you. Do you even know what you speak?
Do you?
I mean, I've had some fucking epiphanies when I'm high, but this is on the next level.
in
That's all
response,
she says. The sending spell. I was like, that's it. That's it.
I've known people who have talked like this while they're high.
This is just next level. This is top 4. This is the roof.
in response, she says, I have seen the end. I know the plans that the city slumbers to. I shall make sure these events come to pass. The reckoning.
You will turn evil. She asks with another sending spell.
It is not evil. There is no good either. If his soul can't be claimed, then many will die anyway. The scourge will end soon.
The last sending spell. His soul is not the determiner of this future you seek. Not at all.
He is but the catalyst for a new age. The future is one where children
Picture Mistra face bombing. Just like,
children will sing of bygone days. The truth will let out. And
Okay, well,
and
at that, you get no more connections with the goddess. She's not. She doesn't respond after that.
and Eros.
Goddess is #done.
You have to remember. Okay, Misra is lawful neutral. It's like only so much chaos before her brain's gonna be like, "All right, you're just having fun with your spells, little girl."
And Eros will place Altapar's grimoire on top of his head, saying, your future is now in your hands. Well, your used to be hands. Your future is now in your nubs. You may do what you wish with these nubs, but know this. The age of the apocalypse will come.
And at that, Mel, what do you do?
I don't know what I just witnessed.
I don't know either. Okay. I never thought Mistra was gonna be in this game. Just so you know. But I love it. Now, will Mistra do anything about crazy arrows? Let's see.
I feel like at a
Alright.
certain point, Miss is just gonna divine intervention and knock Eros out.
Like I'm
Um,
gonna.
Oh, but won't take Altafar's soul. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. Mel, what do you do?
um. Okay, I'm gonna use my action to activate Vampiric Exaltation and kind of turn a little bit into some smoke, so that I can fly. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to activate my form of dread. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna fly a little bit.
How high do you fly in the air?
Probably fly 25 feet diagonally up and
Alright.
over.
I want to put a little number on your thing so I remember. And what is your passive stealth?
19, but she's not really trying to be stealthy.
Well, just in the current situation you're in with everything else, the Trask is not aware of you at all. So,
Okay.
all right, strike. What do you do?
So first of all, pop my rage and instinctive bounce for extra half move speed. And the question is, I can probably just climb on top of the building with my beast barrier thingy or the climb speed thingy, and just get right to the Tarrasque, right? That's like 75.
What's
move.
your total? What? 75 speed?
Yes, with the instinctive bounce from
20.
range.
Okay, so 20, 40. Yep.
Can I
Yep.
jump on that thing so it can't hit me with its claws?
You will need to use one of your attacks as a grapple check to grab onto him. But yes.
No problem, will do.
Uh,
Let me give you an athletics for that. It's advantage, thankfully.
Okay.
Oh damn.
You're grab onto him easily. Okay, so he is not grappled. You have grabbed onto him. He is too big for you to grapple.
Yeah, no problem. That was the plan anyway.
Yeah, you're
So,
not Virgil or Ezra, whatever the name is.
Yes, Ezra, who could turn himself gargantuan and grapple these things, motherfucker.
see,
Rune Knight is very, very strong.
similar thing you could do with the Grim Hollow thing. You go Fractured Barb and then just Mutation Druid multiclass thingy. It's
Yeah.
like
And
Bear
then also
Barbarian Moon Druid on crack, essentially.
the new giant UA that came out a few months back. One of my Sunday players is playing that too. When they rage, they grow one size. So
Yeah, it's crazy. With that thing, you can just throw the entire crossbow, apply rage damage, and it comes back.
You can also turn it into lightning or thunder when you're hunting.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna claw this thing twice because I can still do that because claw.
Okay.
It's all reckless as usual.
Reckless hits. Of course. So, and your magical claws dig in deeply to his hip where you're grabbed on there. And he kind of arcs around to try to see what's grabbed onto his hip right there. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, it uses a legendary action to claw at you. 21 hits. You take, what is that, 13 slashing because of rage. And noticing that you're still there, it just roars again and just, Birdman, the Tarrasque, you can see with your passive perception has been waylaid by something with the dust and whatnot. You probably can't immediately tell with your hidden state that it's your friends, but someone else has engaged with it at the least. What do you do?
I survey. Is there anything like else around? Is it just the Tarrasque? I'm still like.
You roll with the turn you've taken with your passive perception to just kind of sit here and just watch. There's not a lot of noise coming from the hole. It's very, very quiet. And you are with your passive kind of insight, you kind of are wondering if they didn't expect this to happen. Kind of thing.
If the drow didn't, or like.
Okay. Because those undead that you saw were kind of like the equivalent of like where they were is like another 100 feet off the map from where you are.
Okay, so I'm gauging that the wall was on purpose. This is not.
This was like something they didn't expect. They didn't like this is
but it's in response to what they did for sure. It's like, oh fuck, okay. So man, I think I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit longer and see if anybody comes. Like there's no cops, there's no like.
Well, the last 10 minutes already saw their initial group fight this thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, other than that, though, there's like there's no drow coming to get this thing. There's no fucking.
No, the 12th house is nowhere in sight.
Oh shit! Okay. There's no like. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna sit here. I think and just be a little bit longer.
Okay, you don't need to roll a stealth check because you haven't really moved. We can keep that previous stealth unless you want to use your action to. You could use your action to roll a search check if you would like, or an insight check if you would like.
I will do an insight check, I think. Does this apply to
the insight check? Would be figuring out who these people are. Yeah.
Who they are? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what would the perception check be for?
Perception check would be to get any more information from there if there is any.
Okay, let me look and figure out who these people are. Dude.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, man. I'm not having a great time.
You know the Trask is fighting something. You're not sure what it is. You hear growls and whatnot. Could it be a wolf? I don't know. You're not immediately going to, hey, this is strike. It's not the first thing coming to mind.
Man, all right.
All right, and
okay, somebody's got to roll them.
Okay, Setch, you catch your breath as best you can.
Yep.
You saw Mel turn into a puff of smoke and just float away. You're not exactly sure where she went in right now. And then you just saw Strike jump 30 feet in the air, climb up a tower, and then into the dust where the Tarrasque is, just roaring.
Just strike things.
I'll jaunt up 30 feet. And then I'll pop out my home slice, Hound of the Lowman.
Your hound? Where do you want him to drop?
Can I put him on top of the Tarrasque? It's within 120 feet I can summon him.
Yeah, it's like in between his spines, this wolf hound thing appears.
And then my shadow will suddenly grow long ears and like a smile will curve up upon it. And then the Tarrasque will see a giant serpent coming out of its shadow and it's going to constrict it and then bite its neck. Try and hold it still. And I'll cast a Phantasmal Force. He needs to make a DC 16 Charisma saving throw. So it's just him that perceives it, essentially. And he's going to be constricted by a massive snake and also being bitten in the neck by it as well.
Okay, I'm
To
just
those
rereading.
giant
No, you're
snakes.
Okay. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Intelligence save. Not his greatest.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to use one of his legendary resistances.
Oof. And that
One
would be my turn.
takes off just some ethereal primordial magic almost protects it. He now has a choice between a rage badger or not a rage badger. I think he chooses the rage badger.
That's fair.
So first thing, he is really only aware of you. So first thing, frightful presence, wisdom saving throw, strike, DC 13.
All right. Use an inspiration if it fails. No need.
Okay, and then you are now immune for 24 hours to it. And then he gets okay, I need if this clause succeeds, I need a strength save. A strength athletics check because he's trying to like rip you off.
Athletics, which is an advantage.
Okay. You hold on, but you do take 10 more slashing. He can't hit you with his other claw, just kind of from where you are. He can't hit you with horns because you're on his hip. So he can't bite you either, but he could try to tail you. I'll say with disadvantage.
Technically, it evens out because, yay, reckless.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. All right, so normal roll with that. 22 definitely hits. 10 more bludgeoning, and I need a strength saved or be knocked off him. Prone.
There we go. 21.
Okay, hold on desperately. Okay. And the Tarask probably dances a bit, as he's doing this, and probably like turns a little bit this way. As he's trying to go after you. That's all he really does. And then
So as he dances, does he do like that 80s or that 90 thing where he does like the finger point, where he like crosses his body?
Yes. Yes. Indeed. All right. Arrows. What do you do?
Eros, as she puts the grimoire on top of Altapar's head, she goes, wait 1 second. And she opens it back up and she attempts to sacrifice another spell from the grimoire to gain another sending spell to cast for later. You don't need your counter spell, right? I'm gonna take that.
Roll a con save.
Okay.
You gain you are successful, but you gain a level of exhaustion.
What if? Okay, yeah, that won't help.
Yeah, you gain. Yeah, you've been up for hours. You've been partied, and now you're doing very complex magic. Your body and soul is very tired.
Well, it can be as tired as it needs to be. She then, like, gives him not a painful slap, but like a light, like, no, she flicks him on the nose as she runs back out of the tavern.
Roll a medicine check.
Okay.
You generally get the impression if he is not cut down from being upside down, he will probably be dead tomorrow.
She'll stop and consider, is the fire on? It probably is.
Yeah, not very high, but there's coals smoldering.
But like if I just dropped him on it,
It would hurt.
would he like
fuck.
would he die though?
He's had a long rest. He's had 2 long rests, but he's also gained multiple levels of exhaustion, so he has his full HP. So
Okay.
yeah,
Eros
but
is
he does have the equivalent of like 4 levels of exhaustion.
Eros is going to take out one of her actual physical darts and is going to sever the rope so that he's not hanging, drop him on the smoldering coals, and is going to leave him there. So if he wants to roll off, he can.
That's so
Okay.
fucked up.
Does Eros leave with a backflip?
Eros, roll a sanity check. Save. Okay, you're good.
And it's still empty. So she'll then dart outside, looks around for shallow butter.
Shallow Butter is leaning against the wall, waiting for you to come out. Are you done with your business yet? I need to go check on Our Lady.
That's just the thing. You see, I know the dawn. It comes soon. We have work to do. We must return to the scene of the crime, to where the awakening shall begin. The end of the era will emerge, and the rise of a new generation shall spawn.
Lead on, she shrugs.
And she makes a break for the 12th house.
Okay, she runs more confidently once she realizes you're going towards the 12th house, because she wasn't sure what exactly you meant. Alright, Mel, you're just like hovering above this roof because it's about 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
And you see this strike doing a do-si-do with the Tarrasque. What do you do?
Fine. I think I'm going to fly over here and land right on the edge of the roof there. Maybe more like there-ish. And I think I'll just do a little attacky attack. I'm gonna stop being smoke.
But it's so much
But
fun.
with the, I know, but with the form of dread, she still does have quite a bit of smokiness, sort of like dripping off her, as well as like, I don't know, sort of like spectrally bat wings, I think. Yeah, and I'll just do a little stabby stab.
Stab it in the dick.
Does it have one?
I don't know. It's not a mammal,
Maybe it's cream?
so technically, probably not. Is a Tarrasque a mammal?
It is a monstrosity.
Then no, it does not have a dick, so to speak.
Wait. Can monstrosity be mammals?
Monstrosities can exhibit qualities of other creatures, yes. 21 hits.
Yay! Okay, so that would be 25 damage for the first one. Ah, that's so sad. Oh, and because I hit the first one, I know it's probably not gonna work, but I think it's funny to try anyway. Since I have Form of Dread active, can it please make a wisdom save or be frightened of me?
Wisdom save.
With 2 levels Oh no, it needs 3
Wow.
levels of exhaustion for that.
Well, the thing, you hit it and it looks at you and it snorts like a big bulldog, unimpressed. It is immune to fighting.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Then in that case, I'm gonna kick it right in its stupid shoulder.
It's stupid shoulder.
Stupid shoulder.
19 does hit.
Hey. Oh, terrible damage. Only 14.
Whoops.
Okay. Are you high enough level monk for this to be magic?
The bludgeoning is not magic. The others are, and actually, it shouldn't have the dueling style on there,
Yeah.
so it's only 12.
Okay. Cool. He has another choice to make. Is that your turn?
Yes.
At the end of your turn, it uses a legendary action to um yeah, you're in range. Can use 2 legendary actions, try to chomp you in the air.
Okay.
15.
15 does not hit, Mel.
So like 6 inches away from your body, just teeth, just almost grab you. And
I like to think she just turns back into smoke for a second.
off around his mouth. All right, that is okay. Strike. What do you do?
I'm doubling down and pop my Pharaoh Rage for this.
Okay,
And
if you have to use one hand to hold on because he is moving around, so you lose 1 attack.
no problem. But with that, I like to imagine both raging, Pharaoh Raging. Bit of a cheat, but Thaumaturgy would pop off for this just to make his usually red eyes turn an orange color. And a primordial roar erupts from him that can probably be heard in a good chunk of the city. With that, he claws into it again. 26,
Yes.
29. All magical.
17. Ugh, pain. Roar. This thing does not like you on its back in any way, shape, or form. His back arches. He shivers a little bit. He regrets using his legendary action to try to chomp Mel.
Get fucked. So
All
all
right.
damage is halved, also -4.
Okay. He only has 2. All right. That is your turn.
Well, since it made me lose an attack, so I don't kill it immediately, yes.
All right, Birdman. You generally get the impression you're not sure if anything else is going to come up from the hole.
Great. Then I'm gonna fucking dip. So I'm like, okay, great.
And you are definitely in longbow range. So
Yeah. So
this is like prime longbow range right here.
yeah, right. I am in longbow range.
Yeah, you're still within short range of a longbow.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's yeah, dude. I'm gonna use a bonus action, Hunter's Market first though.
You know, you don't have to worry about like the buildings that would give him cover because they're
Right.
destroyed. So
So I'll drop
Hunter's Mark bonus action, beautiful.
and then let's just start shooting some arrows off, man. Longbow. There it is.
Hunter's Mark. I think it lasts for a minute. 22 hits, and like his other butt cheek, the opposite one strikes, clawing into.
And this is gonna be sneak attack, Hunter's Mark, and Colossus Slayer because he is
Yes,
definitely
yes.
missing HP if Strike is hitting.
Yes, a strike, and also because of Shadow Hound from Setch, because I think the Shadow Hound does count as a creature, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
Not a lot of damage. 14,
14, and is your bow magical?
Not magical.
Okay, so the Hunter's Mark is magical, so takes the full 6 from the Hunter's Mark, and then it will take 3 more. Okay, that's your first attack, right?
Slayer, yeah, I got one more.
25 definitely hits, like almost the same spot. Okay, so takes 5.
Colossus Slayer is only once per turn, right?
I think so, yes. All right, so now he has choices to make.
And then I'm gonna like run, I guess, like this way
Okay.
because I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So
Do you have land stride yet?
I do have land stride, yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about the difficult terrain from all the rubble here.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That's what I was gonna ask. Like I know land stride is like.
Yeah,
plants,
it's natural difficult terrain, which rubble is natural. It's not magical.
So hell yeah.
So all right. Runs over there, gets a better position, change up where it's gonna probably see you from. What's your passive stealth? Because you're pretty far away.
My passive stealth? Holy shit. I am proficient in stealth.
Wasn't it like a plus 11 or something?
10 plus 3
Yes.
plus, yeah, something like that.
Okay,
Well,
so you're like
my stealth
you're
is an
good.
11 'cause I'm
Okay,
proficient.
so 21. 21. Yeah, okay, I can't see you. All right, Setch, what do you do?
I'm gonna do the same thing and cast Phantasmal Force, but instead of a snake, it's gonna be a giant fucking shadow otter. It's gonna restrain and pin him down.
Shadow Otter.
Yeah, he needs to make a 16 intelligence saving throw with disadvantage because my shadow hound's within 5 feet of him.
Ooh, okay. Cool. Disadvantage. Intelligence save. That's an 11. He's
Gonna
gonna
use a-
save his legendary resistance for now because he's got other people around him, but we'll see. So we'll say this. Okay, this is
Only he can see it as well. So it's pinning him down and restraining him as well.
and
also biting him.
It's interesting because it's not technically the frightened condition.
Well, the otter isn't trying to frighten him. It's just trying to pin him down and
Yeah,
restrain
no,
him.
but like the illusion isn't interpreted as the frightened condition is my point. Because
yeah,
okay.
it's very versatile.
All right, so Phantasmal Force. All right. This is really either a good idea or a bad idea that I didn't use that, but we'll figure that out. Okay. Is there one for Phantasmal Force? Oh, yes, there is. There's a symbol for Phantasmal Force. I love it. All right. Yeah.
And since the otter's biting him, he also takes 1d6 psychic damage. Ooh, that's not bad.
Nice. All right. It is its turn. gets its legendary actions back, and being exhausted. Okay, that doesn't affect anything for right now. Right. He has choices.
Is he
Each-
restrained at the moment from what he's perceiving, or is it like what how is he being affected by it?
We'll say it's like the equivalent of like grapple. Like he doesn't want to move from where
Okay.
he's at. He just kind of stays, kind of looking around, kind of confused. So if he rolled a 5 to 6, he would attack the phantasmal thing. But he rolled a 3 or 4, so he's gonna go after strike. As his hip hurts. So he will first do to Mel, and this doesn't affect Strike because Strike already passed the save. He's not really aware of where Setch or Birdman is, so you guys are fine. So Mel, I need a DC 13 Wisdom save versus Frightened. Is he?
I am also immune to frightened.
Well, there you go. And then he will use one claw to go after Strike.
Attack yourself. It even makes sense in the context. Tries to go after strike, would hit itself instead if it fails to save.
So another creature,
Resistant.
not itself. Okay. Needs to make a wisdom save. Okay. He's gonna use his legendary resistance. Glad I saved it.
That's one more.
Okay. And then he there's a 17 at strike. Nope,
You have
just misses. Oh, well, that's true.
Always have advantage on me. I also always have advantage on you.
Okay, well, 18, 9 slashing. Then he's going to use his other claw to go after the phantasmal force, and it just like doesn't really do anything. It's just like kind of like clawing. Maybe let's do this. He's gonna roll at disadvantage. He hits himself, like claws into himself.
But he perceives it as logical that he hit himself as well, which is the funny part.
Yeah. Gets angry probably at himself. And then he will. Seeing that happen, there's still a Mel nearby. That's his 2 claws. He's gonna try to bite again at Mel. It's a
Miss.
16. Okay. And then
Didn't he use a frightful presence spell? Doesn't it use an attack?
that's just part of his multi-attack.
Gotcha.
This thing's a gnarly legendary creature.
Yeah.
Let-
All right, and I think that's all its attacks because it can do. Yeah, it used its bite. All right, so it gets its legendary actions back. It's too scared and confused, all kind of together to move with what's going on here. Eros. Where is Eros going?
To the 12th house.
To the 12th house. That's right. All right, you're just kind of running.
Along the way,
For a moment.
she rants and raves to Shallow Butter, asking her, "Do you understand why the twilight approaches? Why the eclipse of the stars has begun?"
No.
It is all for this one moment. The new dawn, the new era, the new age. will come about. Tonight is the last night of the solstice.
Hmm. Okay. Well, let's just get to my mistress and make sure the solstice doesn't eat her, okay?
That is the least of your concerns.
Hmm. Yeah, probably. Um, she doesn't know what else to say. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then just because 6 D10. Okay. From behind you all, a small little dude has flown into the area and unleashes a barrage of magic missiles towards the thing, and its carapace just boop 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 and absorbs it. It's kind of okay. Mel, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit it some more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it more.
Claw into its face a little bit. Oh, or pierce.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Um, it's tried to bite me so many times that I think I might bite it back. I don't know.
Okay.
It tastes like chicken.
It'd be funny.
If
This
you
is
accept the consequences of that, then go for
Do it.
Mm,
it.
uh, hmm.
Give in to the chaos.
Yeah, yeah, why not? 16 probably doesn't hit.
Unfortunately, no, it does not.
I chomp in your general direction, sir.
Well, it's probably that
Okay.
it hits. It's just your teeth are too small to pierce through its leathery hide. More than anything.
You're too tainted by sucking off Birdman.
That's one way to put it. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Being unable to move, doing that, it's going to. It's gonna use one of its legendary actions to attack, strike again. No, it's gonna try to grab you to throw you off of it. It has disadvantage because it's exhausted on its this strength check. So can you even fail a 9? No, you couldn't even fail a 9. You would win no matter what. All right. So
Swiftly dodge out.
Stronger than a Tarrasque.
it gets 1 or 2 claw attacks. It's got a claw mill. What the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it. God damn! Smells
Yes.
zoom flying around its head.
That is just too swiftly
He
for
just
that.
flicks it off.
All right, strike. What do you do?
Do I lose an attack again?
You have to hold on, yeah, if
Alright,
you want to
that's
stay
fair.
on him. You're not
Yeah,
a shadow wolf that can just hold on with shadows, okay?
I do have a climbing speed if that counts.
You're holding on. This is precarious.
That's fair. Alrighty then.
If it was just a wall, that's a different story. He's moving still and jostling and trying to bite and whatnot.
Okay, let me. Do you have to make any check to move to a different position or anything? And is the back as spiky as it looks?
If you would like to reposition, then yeah, you got to use one of your attacks to grab on to a different place.
Nah, I'm hanging right onto its thigh. And it
It's a
might
good
take
place. He
all-
only can hit you with one of his arms. So.
That's very true. And it might say claw, but just for pure flavor, I'm biting into it and rip a chunk out.
Mm-hmm.
40,
All right, they all hit. 8 plus 5 is a number 13.
Just gonna keep count. That was
Okay, so strike. You claw in and rip in. There's a loud yowl, and it shifts a little bit, and you have to swing down, and your second claw like grabs, and you almost swing closer to its front shoulder as he kind of like stumbles a little bit from that claw. And then with your bite, you see a perfect spot. Like you see his jugular vein. Boom, boom, and you just and layer in. And there's some stumbling, some falling. I need an acrobatics check, strike, or an athletics check to jump as this thing falls to the ground and is unconscious. You guys can decide whether or not you are going to fully kill it.
Strike's in a frenzy. He's going to keep biting and clawing and jumping until it's fucking
Okay, so where do you jump first? Let's go to that first.
What are my options?
Where do you want to jump? As far as your strength score will get you.
Right on top of its artery, basically. And just
Okay,
hold
so
on to
it
there.
falls, and then you're able to grab on and swing around its horn and land on its head nearby its artery as it falls to the ground. And that is your turn, I believe.
I'm gonna go fucking kill it until it's dead.
It's Birdman's round.
Oh boy, well it's dead now, so I don't need to.
No, it's dying. This thing's doing fucking death saves, guys.
Okay, well,
this is a milestone. This thing's doing fucking death saves.
all right. Well, now is my time. Can I mayhaps climb on top of this building that's right here? Like, is it too tall?
This building, no, it's a story tall, so it would be your movement to get up to that building there.
I will do that.
Which is partially destroyed. You're like on like one of its walls, 10, 15 feet in the air, just
right. And I will. I guess I'll shoot it some more because it's down
okay.
and it needs to die. So.
Yeah, you have a normal roll with big, even though it's prone. It doesn't matter. This thing's fucking huge.
Oh.
It hits him, but it like pling, off his spikes on the back. Pling.
All right, it wasn't my destiny to kill this thing. But I will try to make my way after this to go, I guess, to the stagecoach again. Now would be a perfect time to go acquisition that axe.
Yes.
If we're gonna do it.
Yes. Satch, what do you do?
I know the 12th has to do that.
Oh, I'm gonna cast Fireball on its AS.
What the fuck?
Fireball on its ES. Okay.
I want this thing fucking dead.
Big explosion. Okay. This thing
Harass.
Well,
takes a
raven-
death. Takes a failed death save. Just
like a raven flies out from my shadow and dive bombs it and explodes into like black fire.
I love it.
Talk about blowing smoke up someone's ass.
And then my wolf will bite on it.
Okay. Bite. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. That's a 17.
17. Teeth grab onto its shoulder, but it can't rip into its leathery skin.
No.
And it rolls a death save and gets a pass.
Come on, guys.
Eros, let's finish this and then we'll jump to you
Okay.
because it's almost done. Presumably, this guy's gonna all forward, and he just, you know,
Who is this guy?
He's a friend. Mel get an inspiration point as he tried to reroll, but his life sucked even less, but it's still there.
What do you think
All
this is?
right. All right, Mel, what do you do?
I'm just gonna quick toll the dead.
Toll the dead. Toll the dead.
Okay.
Or the edit dread necrotic thing that's not there.
That's a question. Okay. There's a loud.
Can an unconscious
noise.
creature make a wisdom save?
That is that was a question I was asking myself. So I don't know. It failed. So there's a loud moan from it, from this just you're sucking its life force and it just dispersing into the universe.
The creature
And Strike, you can still hear its heart faintly boom, 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 beating.
it fails
Oh.
strength and dex saves, but everything else can still be rolled.
Well, we're just fucking killing it.
Okay, your first attack rips into it, and melee attacks, I think, give 2 to failed death saves from rules as written. And you rip this thing apart. I would like.
Veins. I'm going to rip its fucking horns off and proceed to stab it with it.
Okay, roll me an athletics check to see if you can break the horns off. That's pretty hard.
I think I clicked it. Yeah, I did. 29.
Okay, I literally did. I told myself he needs a nat 20 or a 30. That's the only way this is gonna happen. So, start stabbing with its own horn that's like
I think it's
almost
fucking
3
eyes.
times bigger than you. And at that, combat is over, and you have defeated a young adult Tarask.
I'm keeping the horn.
And next time we get to fight the adult Tarask.
And we fight Mama Bear.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the affirmation that's happening.
What do you think's going to happen in a game called Animaesus and Tarask? Okay, go on. Eventually, you're going to have to. Eventually, if you guys make it to that point, you're going to have to deal with a big ass Tarask, right? Like, come on.
Well, it's not just the Tarask. Okay, fair. We fought 2 so far.
Yes, you fought a baby, and now you fought a young adult. You have not fought the Tarask.
I mean, it's been a natural progression. First, we found the corpse of a baby Tarask. Then we fought a baby Tarask. Now a young adult. Yeah, obviously we got to fight the big mama.
Yeah, and maybe you might fight an undead Tarask too. Who knows?
Okay, are we really going back to the undead dragon hydra thing? Beholder?
No, no. This is a totally different idea I had.
It's a Rask Hydra. All right.
No. It was a meme I saw that I was like, I'm just gonna make it because
what's next? We fight the ancient Tarask that has awakened its third eye.
Death breath.
Here. This was inspiration for an idea. Whether or not we get to this idea is, I don't know. This campaign goes in weird directions sometimes, but this was an inspiration.
What the fuck is that?
I saw that and I was like, can you actually make that? And you can.
What the fuck? I just
Oh
like
yeah,
that
isn't it
you
like the fight
absolutely
chicken news?
positively have to kill the entire party. That is just
Harass
the
everyone
most.
dies.
That is just the most. I'm fed up with all of your min-maxing bullshit. No.
Okay, you remember Tyreek? You remember Tyreek?
Yes.
I made these things because I was like, okay, this guy at level 20 is going to be ridiculous. Okay. I know.
To be fair,
Um,
Tariq's a
help.
paladin.
Paladins
Yes.
are busted.
They always are.
to
I
yeah,
mean,
to an extent.
And like,
Until they run out,
all of
until they run out of spell slots, then they need a really good weapon. Otherwise, they can't keep up.
I mean, that's just a wizard in armor at that point.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like if they have a really good weapon, they can.
So what you're
It
saying
doesn't
is,
matter.
if a paladin steals Lazarus' sword,
yeah, that'd be fucking busted.
Good luck, I guess. I was one thing I want to say because Lazarus has a vampire lady lord, like high level vampire as his mistress, and like a small
Mistress?
army
That's
of like
man.
a small army of adventurers that are
At
above
least
level
one-
6. Good luck. All
And you
right.
can
Well,
do a bit of magic as well.
it is in game. It is after midnight. It's like 12:30 when you guys finally fell this creature, and it is a half moon above. The dust and the explosion has torn a hole in kind of the nasty like um smog and stuff that kind of hangs over the city as a constant. You can actually kind of see the stars a little bit. And this is probably a good place to maybe end the session.
Can we do one more thing?
Okay, sure.
Just check for survivors in the crashed buildings.
Okay, roll me a sanity save.
I'm gonna fail it.
oh,
Wow.
Okay. Okay. We will. I need to think on exactly what happens now because I wasn't necessarily expecting.
could I? Could I? I mean, if you are fine with it in terms of time, because I do want to attempt the ritual.
The dancing ritual.
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, we could save it if you want, or we could just.
That's not a bad idea. I guess it'll only take a couple minutes. Okay. I would like a persuasion check though. Okay. Like, do you convince them that the doing this now is a good idea? Yes. Okay. Okay. I need a performance, sleight of hand, and acrobatics. And you need a sending spell to fully complete the.
Which is why I sacrificed one of those other spells.
Okay.
Performance. 18. Sleight of hand. And what was the other one?
Acrobatics.
Okay, for performance and acrobatics, I'll use my last two side eye. So add a 4 to the performance and a 5 to acrobatics. So performance is 22, acrobatics is 21.
Okay. Um. Hmm. The initial performance, you get all the moves. You are able to flourish and embellish your hands at all the right points in this kind of Tai Chi, kind of jazz dance thing that this is. And your acrobatics allows you to put your feet in the right slots and maneuver at the right moment. But you do not. There's a couple of the lights that kind of light up, but it's not a full engagement you get from this. There is something that's missing. You're not exactly sure what it is.
Can I use the sending spell to communicate with the relic, the artifact, with plate?
Yeah.
I ask it, what would be needed to achieve enlightenment in this situation, to end the era and bring about the new age? Tell me, plate.
In your mind's eye, it telepathically kind of connects to you through the sending spell, but it's more visceral than that. And you need to make this spell work, to make this ritual work in the current situation. You need to roll me a con save, and you lose 6 hit dice today from this.
Oh, 6 hit dice, not.
Yes, not hit points, hit dice. So you don't have those for short rest or whatever. And you only get half back at a long rest anyway. So, and okay. You like connecting to Birdman, mentally connect to Plate, and you realize the name, once you connect this way, is more his name is Cash, basically, but spelled with a K. No connection to money. That's just what his name is. And he that answer that comes back is what do you need to make this happen, right? His answer is you, basically. And his stomach, that hole that's in his stomach right there on that thing, indents in, circles, and moves off to the side. And Eros, he tells you in a mental connection not made from the sending spell, but established from the sending spell, that you need to climb inside.
And when I do, what age will come about from this? Who will fall in this endeavor? Who will rise?
And we will end there with Eros climbing in. And we will pick up next time to see the consequences of this. Eros, I would like for help me prepare for next session. I would like one more con save.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the milestone. Congratulations. There's a new world order in the city.